ugly and dusty, and none of y'all matter. Money all on me, I'm feeling real flatter. Walking this bitch straight dripping like I was trying to get to the toilet, but I cut a whole platter. First class money when I'm not on the jet. All the white folks keep breaking their neck. They trying to see if I'm back in the thread, but I'm covered in green. They like, look, get strapped. They tell us saying my shit, bro. Pockets thick as hell like Lizzo. Move better beat like Trisho. If you piss me off, it's a shit show. Cause I'ma do some shit that you can't believe. Smack a bitch into Christmas Eve. When I fight, I do not pull weed. Only thing I'm pulling out is teeth. Trying to wake the verse, I'm not gentle. That mean I'm killing bitches with a pencil. Shorty better check my credentials. Only time I'm getting crosses at the temple. I'm a whole catch, come fetch me. I'm a drop out, so don't test me. You got pass around since bestie. That pussy burning niggas like Pepsi. I'm an invest. I bet you never catch me waiting on the man to flip a quarter. Niggas so thirsty, fuck me in my chest. Drink flip water, but they can't afford her. I'm up in Georgia, next week Florida, across the border. DNO Flora, touching the store. I done been everywhere on the map like Flora. Max out the clock and I'm reloading back. Spit 10,000 when I walk in sacks. Body getting snatched like a Brazilian wax. They hate me cause I got what they lack, so they gon' stare. Say what you want, I don't care. Talk blue jeans, I don't wear. Cause the ass too fat is gon' tear. It's gon' there. Just on the back, the fuck up. Amarion, somebody finna get touched. Bitches talk, but they don't never do much. I'm grilling niggas till they teeth get brushed. Snatched a couple niggas' chains in the past, they ain't never come around twice. But if they do like a cold juice, niggas know to keep it light on the ice. I'm with the game with it, I bang with it. Good aim with it. Yeah, I wipe a nigga nose with it. I'm shoot shit like cold. Niggas know I'm untouchable. Niggas tripping, no lunchable. And I ain't gotta twerk on the gram for a nigga to think that I'm fuckable. I'm always in no shit about us. Every time I touch down in Bahamas, I swear to God I don't be caring. My first thing should have been Donna. I'm just trying to run on some covers, so you can miss me with the drama. In the way that I'm fucking these niggas, so I might as well give me a comma. I'm trying to wake up through makeup and don't even know how they look when they bathe. Face me looking like a bunch of mashed potatoes getting smashed on a blade. These rap bitches sucking, I don't give a fuck about none of the music they made. As long as they watching, they tone, and I'm not talking about getting 10 on the leg. And I swear to God, these niggas crazy. Be doing the most to date me. Be beating niggas out their pants, but I still won't call them to pay me. Niggas took me on a date, they asked me to pay. Should've saw my face when I went in purse. But on the way out, since he acts like a bitch, I open the door for ladies first. I don't got time for it, even if to watch that time for it. Bitch, your head ain't full enough. Add another track like an encore. These hoes swear they don't play games. Well, then I'm sorry, bro, but you hoes need to learn how to level up. Little hoes need to play Mario. I run this shit like cardio. I tell who to car to go. Give me my part for a promo. Run it through your career like the Marvin Show. Good nigga better be charged to go. Have it so flat up at Baltimore. More than store these niggas pussy. I guess I'm the reason why they water, bro. Can't shit, bitch.
Hey, what up, y'all? Zio in the building. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Tuesday evening? Hopefully, everyone's doing good. TMAC in the building. The most hated chicks on fucking YouTube. Yep, that's right. The most hated chicks. All up in this. You mad though, right? You mad. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Come here. There. So I'm a new content creator. So, anybody who's new in here in this piece, go ahead and please subscribe. Or if you want to wait till after, the show, go ahead and subscribe, press the like button. If you like what you've heard so far, you don't have to get my girl Cupcake in the building. She be grilling these rap niggas and bitches. Feel me? So, the topic for today: pickmes, mammies, and scandalous women. Whew. So, want to say thank you to everybody who's in the building. Feel me? Mother, TMAC in the building. Koja, hey Koja. Queen of the South. Celeste in the building. Gigi. Let's Troll. Mike, what's up, Mike Green Eyes? Jerome. Yeah, we about to talk about this. Pickmes, mammies, and scandalous women. Now I know everybody has their definitions of these things. These are my definitions, are my opinions, my thoughts. So, you can feel free to express whatever you feel in the comment section. But I think depending on who you ask, you probably gonna get different definitions, different interpretations. And I just want to throw that out there before somebody go, "Oh, that is not the definition." Okay, well, your definition might be different. So just saying. All right, let's get it started. So we hardly ever talk about the second most danger to women, and that's other women. Yep, other women. Women who would set up other women or cause harm themselves towards other women because of lies, jealousy, insecurities, career advancement, envy, and the most dangerous of all, for a man's attention. I define a pick me as a woman who bends over backwards for a man despite him vocally or in showing her he does not value her as a woman or as a partner. She usually pays the rent, actually practically everything, because she's independent and don't need a man to do nothing for her, but then cries when said nigga does nothing for her. I mean, just saying. She stays with this man for the sake of having one, gazing upon him with rose colored glasses. And despite all the trauma and heartache Michael puts her through, she gonna stand by her man. Moving on, she also looks down on other women who do not subscribe to the lifestyle of being a man's quote unquote punching bag, which I use figuratively, but can be literally in some cases, if not both. Pygmies want other women to suffer the same atrocities that their men put them through. On behalf of the other side, I think I speak for all when I say, girl, fuck you. Mammies, on the other hand, I feel are similar in the sense, but usually are older women. They usually don't have a man or are divorced, swearing up and down that a moo a home cooked meal, and submission is the only way to keep your man. Because that's how they kept theirs. Pause. They put down younger women for OnlyFans, only to go and shake their ass on the internet for free. Makes sense. They're usually part of the satanic church, excuse me, Christian church. Forgive me, Satan. You can find them standing on the front line for men, which sounds very masculine to me, but I guess breaking their back to coddle and breastfeed grown ass men who dreamt of screwing their own mothers and still need their cheeks pinched like a good boy because he went to somebody's damn job today so he can have a place to live and eat. And that's if the nigga even give a damn about himself. And then you have scandalous women. Oh man, scandalous women. These women reek of insecurities, the same, if not more, than a pick me. These women hold envy towards other women because they don't understand how other women can draw the same dusties they do without jumping hoops. They will use their masculinity to try and destroy a woman, kill her, or even have her killed. These women are highly dangerous and are in disgust to fellow women. They usually are a man's flunky. And these men hold on tight to dumbass because she actually believes she, and I quote from this type, different than other bitches. Ah, the delusion. You can always find this type of woman going around saying every other woman is jealous of her, when in fact, she proves the opposite by going around pretending to not care, creating made up scenarios, and looking for validation from the bottom of the barrel scum. She's only quote unquote friends with men who sexualize her and most likely dog her out in public, private, and everywhere else. Oh, silly rabbit. Now, I'm always here for women empowerment, but I feel it's needed to address the women who betray their own for the sake of men or the hatred towards other women. These women want us to approve of the dumb mindset that they have by publicly ranking themselves lower than men and have the audacity to call themselves teaching other women to follow in their dumbass footsteps. These types of women are so insecure in themselves that they actually hate themselves. This is a form of internalized misogyny, which makes them hate all other women around them. Black women as a collective, we need to do better. We can be better, and we will do better. You are a Black woman. There is no separating the two. We have no allies, especially in our counterparts. Black women and the desire to be desired by Black men who hate your fucking guts is baffling at this point. These men have brainwashed you, or should I say, digmatized you into laying down as a damn mat on the ground so that they don't have to get their feet dirty, and you think that is normal. That's classified as feminine behavior. Black women have allowed men to lead them into destruction. These women lay around at these men's feet while they talk about single mothers, and they are single mothers themselves. Because he threw you a Scooby snack, you were given a false perception that you're exempt from the rest of us. How, Sway? How, Sway? And don't be a woman or a group of women, TMAC, gang, gang, who walks in their purpose, embraces the power of being a woman, isn't insecure with herself, doesn't need validation from no man, nor would ever allow a man to lead her into destruction. Oh, they hate women like that the most. They hate you for your very existence. Because no matter how many times a man pats them on the head for their good behavior, they know deep down inside they are miserable because they don't have love for themselves off the strength of just being. They hold on to the unwillingness to hold men accountable. Why? Why do women continue to do this? These pickmes, these mammies, and these scandalous women. It's completely freaking utterly disgusting that you would portray your own fucking group. How do you make sense of that? How? I want to know. I want to know. I need to know because I'm not understanding. We have both things against us, Black and woman. They cannot be separated. We cannot separate the two. And when women are victims of anything, Black women face it at astronomical numbers. Being Black has its own, that's a whole nother goddamn category of dealing with BS. And I'm not understanding it. I'm gonna drop the damn link down because I want to know what's up. I want to know what the hell is going on. I want to know why. And that's if we got any damn pick-me's, mammies, or scandalous women in the chat, which I doubt. But even if you want to comment on the topic and what you feel those things mean or any of your experiences. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat right now because I want to know what's up. And somebody please let me know if I did it right. Yeah, because I'm really not. I don't understand. We live in a patriarchal society. Men run a lot of shit, a lot of shit, and they want to cry the most. And we have women who will betray other women, and it's usually over men, men who are strong enough. or proclaim to be strong enough, they proclaim to be smarter than us, and women feel that they need to be helped, they need to be assisted. I'm not getting it, I'm not understanding it. Hey, Kojo.
Hey, how you doing, Zio?
I'm doing good, how are you?
Good. I've never been on a panel with you. Nice to be on a panel with you. Zio is how you
Likewise.
pronounce your name, correct?
Zio.
Okay. Oh, these mammies, pickmes, and mules. Okay. You got some mammies. They claim they're not in the game. They're not looking for love, but they on the outside reinforcing and supporting all these black black women haters. And then the
Mhm.
pygmies are the ones who still in the game, who thinking, they never find anything wrong with what men do, and the mammies either. And they always find everything wrong with what women do. And they mad at you because you don't agree. And collectively, they're gonna get together and show you why you wrong. And I think most communities are made up of them. And I think the women here, if it's 1,000 women in your community, you probably got 990 pygmies and mammies, and you the odd one
I
out, or the odd
I
10 out.
second that.
And
Mhm.
now that we've come together to say, it wasn't us, it was them all the time. We knew we weren't crazy, it was them.
Mhm.
And they're gonna chastise you. They're gonna tell you how what you're doing wrong. And I really think the vocabulary of people really saying any woman that tries to place herself above another one, they may use words like classy, high class, wifey material, girlfriend material, slut, ratchet. Then they like to socioeconomically shame. It's just any woman that tries to class herself above another one and say, I'm better because of this. And generally, it's to place themselves up on the highest notch in the male hierarchy. Sometimes they'll use their looks. If they have them, they may use their body, they may use their education, they may use their relationship or marital status, and all that to say, we're the better woman, we're this, we're that. And, and they internalize. I just learned that word from Mother Earth, internalize misogyny. It's like you know something
Correct.
and then somebody give you the correct word for it and you know it right then. And they've done it for so long till they don't know how to do it. And the non mammies, the non pickies are the women that's here. It's the ones that don't sit in judgment of each other, that don't sit alone talking about women body count, and most importantly, allow women to be women. We can be different and have some different views, but still not put each other down for that. And that's what I think pygmies are. And non pygmies are the ones who don't engage in the pygmy, muling, and mammy behavior.
No, I definitely agree with you because I'm just so confused on, I understand that a lot of this probably stems from people's, upbringing, you know what I mean? And there's been this sense of, competition when it comes to women in general. And, I've grown to learn that we shouldn't be competing with each other because we are all in the same damn boat. I don't give a damn how much education you have, how much of a good mother you are, how much of a good person you are, how great you are, how you excel in your career. All these men tend to look at you the same way. There is no difference. Even when they say they have their preferences and they want a woman to do, well, I want her to work and let's go 50-50. Even when you do that, niggas still find a way to move that goalpost and go, oh, well, that's still not good enough. I need you to do this. Oh, that's not good enough. I need you to do that. And this is from women who I know women who have operated to the fullest of being shit the best woman, the best damn woman that you can assume a woman to be. And men will still find a way to destroy that or to make that woman feel like she's not good enough. So I'm just really confused on how these women really believe that due to their looks, that's a big one. I look better than you. I look like this. You look like that. Bitch, it don't matter. I've seen the beautifulest women get treated like crap, and I've seen the average woman get treated like crap. There ain't no difference, sis. It's a false perception that these men are giving you. What is going on?
What I observed is these women don't have the beauty or the aesthetic that these men like. They will tend to have the loudest mouth and try to be their bullies. And one thing I noticed, I was listening to a stream, and this is the stuff they're not gonna come out and say I'm men. They're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna talk about the men," but all of their conversation tend to be on women, and they say, "I'm gonna talk about the women, and then I'm gonna get these hoes and bitches together." And we're supposed to say that like we don't see you is that mammy, you is that pick me. Because you can address the men as men and you say you finna get them together, but you address the women as hoes and bitches, but you a woman. See, they don't think people see that slight of hand, that slight of word, and they're like, oh, you saw that? Did you see? Yeah, we saw it. And that is the kind of language that they use. And they'll do stuff like socioeconomically, like, oh, I had a this growing up, I had a that, like you're beneath me because I had this or I had that, and it's all too. I'm not gonna stay up here a long, long time. It's just that something I when you hear them talk, even though they profess because they cannot come out blatantly and say they're against the women, they say, oh, I'm gonna talk about
Mhm.
men, but 90% of what they're saying is women related and negative toward women. And like I said, they don't
Correct.
call the men out their names, women
Correct.
hoes and bitches and
Correct.
stuff.
No,
So
I
that's what
I
I think
totally
about
agree.
it. And
No,
I want to
you're
say
making
nice
some.
to meet you and talk with you finally. And I know Sway coming up here. I can't wait for her. I'm studying her so much. And I'm going to let y'all go on and take y'all broadcast. I'm going to go to the light woods and my signal got cut out. So thank you. And I'm glad to hit your broadcast.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, Koja, for coming up.
All right.
Likewise, thank you for coming up and share your opinion. But yeah, this is just I don't understand it. I don't understand how as a woman you wake up and your thought is to hurt fellow women. Like I'm not understanding that. And I understand that, I have my thoughts, my perceptions, my opinions, as and just like, Koja getting up here, expressing her thoughts and her opinions on the topic, I'm just really confused because I just don't. Like that's not where my mind frame is to want to wake up and, harm or to set up other women on the, because I'm jealous or because I'm insecure, which, we all have insecurities, but to be so insecure where I would do anything in my power to destroy a woman because this is in my opinion, this is not on some normal human shit where, as humans we judge each other. We say some, not nice things to each other. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't gonna think you look this way. Everybody not gonna think you're, that smart or whatever you have you. But to like these people, in my opinion, the Pickmes, the mammies, the scandalous women, they are set they try to destroy a woman. And the fact that they move around like a snake and they believe that they're exempt, like they don't have a vagina, like they're not a woman. I just don't understand it. And it's over, and then when it does happen, it's over something so petty. It's like, "Sis, is that what the hell this is about? Is that why you mad?" I'm not understanding. I don't get it. And I'm just really confused on that. I'm gonna stay confused. Like even on this platform itself, like you have women who will go to the bat to tear you apart, and there's no real reason other than you just fucking hate me. Like you just don't like me. And I can respect you more going, look, I just don't fuck with you. I just don't like you. I just don't, deal with you. That's cool. I can respect that. But to wanna destroy me, somebody, especially like I said, being on this platform you've never met, like, I'm not seeking to destroy your real life and, I don't wanna know where you live. I don't wanna know what you do. Like, I do not care, sis. It's not that damn deep. It really ain't. I'm confused. So, like I said, anybody want to come up here and, you know, any pick-me's, mammies, and scandalous women want to, explain, why, they do what they do, please, feel free to hit that link. I'll put it back in the chat again. Because I'm really not understanding like how you can allow your feelings and your emotions, because this is another thing I hear from these kinds of women is that they're not emotional and they don't care. Like I said, they don't care. But they move because for me, it's how you moving. You can say whatever the hell you want out your mouth, but if you're moving in a certain type of way, if you running here, and there to talk about me and say things, about me, and but you want to proclaim that I'm irrelevant, obviously, sis, I have to be relevant because you wouldn't be moving to different spaces to talk about irrelevant as me. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, if I proclaim to be, a bad bitch and I don't care what you think about me, I can show you better than I can tell you, sis. Like it's that simple. Like I'm not gonna sit here and go from place to place, talking about you and I feel like you're beneath me because that's another thing these women, the perception they have is that other women are, beneath them and they're different and you're not different. These men are they're using you, they're manipulating you. And I noticed that a lot of these women too seem to be have this like I said, is like they're digmatized, because a lot of these women, when it boils down to it, it's usually 2 things. You doing it because of some dusty nigga, or you doing it because, "Oh, that bitch thinks she's something, so, I gotta show her I'm that bitch. I'm that whatever." Bitch, you wouldn't need to even come out your mouth and say that. If you that bitch, we gonna see it, sis. We gonna know that you that bitch. You don't have to say it. You ain't gotta announce it. You ain't got to, put extras and be 15 on it. Because if you gotta keep going everywhere stating you that bitch, you not that bitch. You not. Sorry to tell you, you ain't. You let your work prove who the fuck you are. When you walk in a place, it'll just be that. People gonna know off the bat. Hey, Jerome,
What's going on, player?
what's up?
Hey, I'm tired of y'all women talking shit about us men. Y'all ain't shit. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
No, y'all niggas ain't shit.
What you mean we ain't shit? What have we done?
What you mean we ain't shit? What have we done?
First, y'all done voted for that punk ass president Joe Biden. It was y'all who got him in the White House, so y'all ain't shit.
I don't vote. So that wasn't a product of Zio. I don't vote. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that. I don't give a damn man, woman, white, black, pink, purple. I wasn't voting. So not I. And
Oh,
whoever
okay.
voted, I feel like I mean that's a totally different subject, but and again, it's my opinion. I don't believe in voting. I don't That shit is rigged. Whether you think so or not, it's rigged. They already know who they gonna pick. These people are destined. That ish goes really deep. And people who feel like they vote matter, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You a lost sheep. That's all I could say.
Wait. People in chat talking about my mic is loud. Man, my shit ain't loud. Man, y'all hear me when I'm on them streams. My shit ain't loud at all. I haven't even put my equipment together yet. So my shit ain't
Oh,
loud
why
at
they
all.
saying is that verbals mic? Y'all ain't right. Y'all know damn well I ain't got no mic. I'm using my little AirPods, so it's just gonna have to do. I'm trying to talk as loud as I can, but hey, hopefully y'all can hear me.
Oh, your shit is
Oh,
good,
y'all.
man. Your shit is good. But I just came up to show you some love. I'm gonna catch you later though, cause I'm about to work on my equipment right now.
For sure, for sure. Thank you for coming up. Appreciate it.
All right, and I shared it, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, man. Zio, she next up, man. She about to blow up. I'm telling y'all.
Man, I'm trying to do my thing. I appreciate the support
All right, player.
for sure. Jerome Whiteside in the building. Make sure you guys go to his channel too. I know I don't have him wrenched up, but if somebody else can put his stuff in the chat, which I'm sure probably everybody, is probably from his shit anyway. I'm a new content creator, so I ain't got fans like that yet. But if y'all can, help him out, until I could, figure all this ish out, all this technical shit out, go ahead and drop his stuff or whatever, or just put in the search engine on YouTube, Jerome Whiteside, and his channel should pop up. Good stuff coming up. You know, he from Cali, West Side. So you feel me? Showing that Cali love. You know what I mean? He speaks on some real topics, and just check that brother out. But yeah, getting back on the topic of these women. I'm just, again, like I said, I don't understand it. Hey, Zero, how are you? Hi, Joe. Joe W in the building. Cass. Hi, Casimira. Hi, sister. Love you, sweetie. Sweetie in the building. The verbal assassin. Here to cut y'all niggas heads off because y'all deserve it. Feel me? But yeah, I'm not understanding it. Like, where some of these women are coming from, with this ish. I don't get down like that. I've never That's never been my stilo, and I just don't understand it. Like how you can put another woman in harm. You know, I don't know. Like for a man, like please make it make sense. Cause I'm truly not understanding. Like, are you just that evil and hateful that that's just how you are? Is that how you set up to be? Like, what are you getting out of it? Other than no money, no and some, some half limp dick. Like, what are you getting out of it? And I'm sorry I'm being graphic, but I'm just really like, I don't understand it at all. Like women should be for women. Like we need to get rid of this narrative and this stereotype that women can't get along and that women can't come together because quiet as kept. I see a lot of people, as much as they want to say, oh, TMAC, they irrelevant. They ain't nobody. They ain't doing nothing. Woo, woo. I see people trying to jump on the bandwagon. I see people trying to create their own groups. And yeah, ain't nothing new up under the sun. So yeah, it could have been 1,000 groups before ours. But it's just funny that it dies out. And then when somebody else, revives, I'll put it in that terminology, they revive some ish, then all of a sudden, people want to, everybody want to help everybody. All of a sudden, everybody want to be advocates. Everybody want to, oh, let's stop the bullying. Let's stop the doxing. Let's stop this or whatever. And these same people are one either doing the ish themselves or two they are around people who do so. So please make that make sense too. I know I kind of veered off a little bit, but I just want to know, I just want to, well, that needs to make sense to me because TMAC, we are for women. Let's make that very clear. We are pro women. And yes, we are going to look out for Black women first and foremost. Because what? Because what? We are the most what? Disrespected. We're the most disrespected. Yes, we're disrespected all the way around. And it ain't just you niggas who's constantly disrespecting us. And then to have your own fellow Black women disrespect you, it's disgusting. And if you're a pick me and you're a mammy and you're a scandalous woman, you are disgusting. You're disgusting. You're the type of woman who will set up another woman to get sex trafficked. Disgusting. You are the same women who pimps use to gather other women. Oh, excuse me, not even other women. These women are girls. They're girls, underage. Their starting range, it can be as low as 10 years old. Yes, pimps are recruiting children at the age of 10. As sickening as that freaking sounds, it's true. And they get they quote unquote they bottom B to go out there and make these young ladies feel comfortable so that they can go into manipulating them. Hi, Casmira. How are you?
Hey sis, hey. I had to
Hey,
come
hey.
through. Had to
Thank you.
support.
Love it. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you too. This topic you have this evening, it's quite, shall I say, juicy.
It is very juicy. I
Pick
thought it
me.
needed to be discussed.
Yeah. Pickmes, mammies, and downright scandalous women. Oof.
Facts. Is there anything you wanted to add to the topic, or did you just want to just, whatever comes to you?
Well, on the topic and whatnot, like I feel like you're saying everything that needs to be said. Felt like I was having like a personal, relationship with God as you were sitting there breaking it down. It was perfect. But the main thing I think that we always need to remember is that pick me's, mammies, and these downright scandalous women, they can be quite detrimental to the community as a whole, because you have a lot of these people who will like push under the rug when their child is abused by with their partners or their even the leaders in their church, let's be honest. And because they do that, like you know what they're doing? They're doing it to cover for these men. And let's be honest, what is
Correct.
more important, the innocence of a child or a dusty, crusty, musty man?
Correct.
Like,
I totally agree. It starts at home. And just like the situation with the young lady, and forgive me, y'all, my brain be kind of like spazzing on me. So names I ain't good at, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The story with the young lady who married a godfather, like
mhm,
that's whole situation is very sad because we've been if you're a woman, you're older and you're halfway or you're in your full, womanhood. When you were 17, 18, 19, 20, like
mhm,
you're still young. You're still developing. You don't know anything. And when I even think about that, going back to that age for myself, yeah, at that age, I probably thought I knew every goddamn thing, and
mhm.
I didn't know a damn thing. And when I look back on that, I'm like, "Girl, you didn't know nothing. What you thought you knew? You didn't know nothing." But that girl, that young lady, she was groomed by that ugh. I don't even want to say his name. Yeah, thankfully I don't know, but I don't want to say his name. But she was groomed by him,
Yes, the
and the fact
devilish
that
Negro.
correct. You know, did that, and the fact that people are trying to find justification in that is sickening. And then what makes me even, more sickening than the person who has, brought this, who has done this to this young lady, is that when you look at her mother who birthed her, who was supposed to care for her, who was supposed to protect her, I have to look at you sideways and question your presence in your daughter's life. How do you allow this man that she claims to have been involved with too, to snatch your child away from you? And I mean that's just to put it blatantly. To put your child in a position where that girl, when you even listen to her speak, she didn't have a childhood.
She
She
didn't.
she sounds like an older woman. And this is another thing when it comes to these predators. There you go. That's the
Mhm.
word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Is that they will come to you because I was young again and I had old men come to me, and it's always the same line.
Mhm.
Oh, you're mature for your age. Because I was young again, and I had old men come to me. So whoever this excuse me is, you have playback. Is that you? Who is
Oh,
it?
sorry.
Hey,
Don't act like you
mother.
don't know who excuse me is.
Lord have
Oh,
mercy.
I thought that was mother. Oh no, that's you. Pigeons on really, really
It's
verbal, really.
it's the Mike
Oh my
Master.
god,
Is there another pigeon attack going on? It just happens so much. I've been reporting on it,
Lord,
and I have kind of like you know, been lax on my reporting
my
of these pigeon
god.
attacks. So yeah.
Well, give us
So
an
give me the
update
cliff
on
notes.
the.
Give me the cliff notes.
This is not a meeting.
Oh
What
my
the
What do you
juice?
mean? What did I do? What did
god.
I do? What did I do?
Verbal, you come
Uh,
in like this all the time. Like we're on the west, like on the West Wing, and you walk in like you're the president, and we're just standing there trying to figure out everything. You're like, "What's the cliff notes? What's going down?"
I just need the short
Lord have
version.
mercy.
That's it. That's all I need. Because y'all talk too much.
I mean, in a nutshell, I mean, it's the title. I mean, we're kind of just bouncing off of like, kind of the same thing. I mean, these women, it's, the pickmes, the mammies, and the scandalous women. We calling them out.
The scandalous skeezers.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to definitely watch the playback. Because I came here late and then I saw you were live and then I hopped someone called me because I just had a work Zoom meeting. And so I was like having you in the background, trying to listen to both, and it didn't work very well. So now I'm here. Started from the bottom, now we here. What's up, ladies?
No, I just I just went on basically, like I said, my definition, what I feel pickmes, mammies, and scandalous women do. And I'm trying to figure out, why, the base of this conversation is, you know, fellow women who feel the need to destroy, because let's be honest, these women seek out to destroy other women based off of, men, the desire for dusties, and, men who use them as flunkies and manipulate them, for their love, attention, or whatever else these women want from them. And, and then the other side of that coin is women try to destroy you because they're insecure, they're jealous, they're envious of you. And I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, how do you wake up? Do you wake up in the morning or to be evil and hateful, that you're so insecure in yourself that you feel the need to try to destroy another woman?
Yes. Short answer. Absolutely. All of that and then some. I mean,
I don't
I don't
like
know.
it.
I don't know how they what has to happen in the life for them to get the point not to love these hoes, but every woman has her own journey, right? I would just ask that you don't bulldoze, run over, kick in the gut another Black woman on the way to the top of your Kang's mountain. I just ask that.
Correct.
So,
I don't think that's gonna happen. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate because even though we're having this movement of trying to show, women that we can band together. This can be done. We don't have to be jealous of each other. We are all different. All of our missions are different, but we can also come together, on some common ground, when it comes to certain things, because at the end of the day, it benefits all of us. And at the end of the day, we are, like I said again, we are the most disrespected, especially when it comes to Black women. And I don't understand how, and when I say women, I do want to, I'm trying to speak in totality, but I am also really being narrow minded where I say Black women because I am a Black woman, and I can only speak on my experiences and what I tend to deal with other Black women. And overall, I can say for the most part in my life, I've had great experiences with Black women. For the most part, I have.
same, same.
Um, but there's these women that, I've also encountered where they literally just on the strength of meeting me, just being in my presence, where it's just like it's not like like I said, where it's just like, I mean, you can feel someone's vibe and maybe you just don't want to, talk to them, be their friend, whatever. But it's like they seek to destroy you. And whatever it is they got going on, whatever their insecurities are, they project it onto you and they go for blood. And I'm just like, I just don't get it. I don't.
You know what that is? That's low confidence. It truly is. Low self worth. And a step forward, usually this goes hand in hand, low finances. See, when you have someone that feels that they are beneath so many people or that they feel everything is coming crushing down upon them, sometimes you get these people that they, in order to feel like a big man or a big person, they have to pick on those who love them or mean them well. It's just it's at this point, it's just who they are and it's what they do. Can they unlearn these things? Of course, but you have certain men that they live for this. They will take the mammy and they will weaponize said mammy. Mammies, 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 they run in packs sometimes. Mammies are usually pickmes, and those pickmes were actually taught to be pickmes because if we think about it, even when little Black girls are growing up, they're told, hey, you have to look out for your brother. You have to do this. You have to do that. See, not the normal trappings of a childhood per se, but they have the adultification. You see? So
Mhm.
they go that distance with them. And then they're told, well, you have to look out for the men. You have to look out for the Black men. Everything is going bad for him. Financially, he is not making it. Educational wise, I hear they say that most can't read, which is shocking, appalling. I feel this is something we should all care about. But then you have another step when they're saying, well, there's colorism. So if he's darker, they're treating him worse because they're seeing him in those, stereotypes all the way from birth of a nation. So then you think about that. And then they say, well, when he finally gets out of school, he has all of these things going for him. Well, going against him, not going for him, such as racism, the police, dealing with the newfound freedoms of being an adult, but not given the grace of having a young adulthood where it's okay to make mistakes. One mistake leads you in prison. So Black girls are told and taught this ever since they're wee little lasses. And after a while, it's internalized and they've been taught to do and they've been taught to follow and they've been taught how bad it is for these men and these boys. So they will self-sacrifice themselves to do anything that they absolutely can in order to gain that affection And let's go a bit further to gain what they consider to be respect, or go a step further to actually procure a man.
No, I definitely agree with all of that.
Well, that
It
was
is
a
very
whole
taught
word.
at a young age. That was a whole word. And it definitely puts in perspective the way that, black girls are brought up, because they are brought up to put, young black boys first. You know what I mean? Like you just said, like
Oh
the whole
yeah.
reading thing. I remember being in grade school, and a lot of the because I love reading. I love reading. That was like my thing. And when I was in school, they had they had a thing called Hooked on Phonics, supposed to help, help young kids read. And I remember there would be a couple of, young black boys that I would have to, well, not have to, but I was teaching them to read. And, they did have a difficult time trying to learn. And also I had, some of those boys who got frustrated. They got frustrated and some of them didn't want to. They didn't want to for whatever reasons. Societal standards, um, places on black boys that if you're smart and you like school, and you actually excel in it, that's a problem. That's an issue. You should be shunned and shamed for seeking out knowledge. It's insane. We have some very backwards things when it comes to the community as a whole.
Most definitely. Yep, I agree. Where do you all think that that comes from, though? Where boys, I think it's in particular boys, are teased and teased and disrespected or whatever, harassed if they're smart and if they enjoy school and if they, get straight A's. Where do they get that from? I mean,
Mm,
they get it from somewhere. They don't come here feeling that way.
true.
Jerome, I'm calm every day. Why don't you stop having
Mm,
dusty panels and then you can always see me calm? Okay? Go ahead.
'cause because these Negroes be talking crazy. They don't understand. Don't nobody be want to hear
Exactly.
that stuff. Ain't nobody.
Really?
Some people gonna entertain it, and some people gonna get in your ass. It's just that
Mm,
simple.
it's
Y'all just
just
gonna have to
that
get over
simple.
that.
And if
Her name
somebody
is
gonna be on your
it's
panel
the
and tell me that
it's
somebody
her
I
name is
don't
the
know
verbal
is gonna,
assassin.
huh?
If you don't get
Exactly.
if you don't want to get assassinated, stop saying stupid stuff. It's just that simple.
It's as
Come
simple
on,
as that.
man. Come on.
JL gonna
But
let
no,
this
that
boy that I never met tell me to shut the fuck up when he's talking. Jerome, what you think was gonna happen? You
that part.
man, listen, let's stay on topic.
No, that's a good question. I really don't know. When I like I said, if I look back on it, like even like expressing, like I said, when I was, teaching, a lot of the boys in my class to read, I think, especially growing up in, a urban area or, the hood, just to put it blatantly, um, I just feel like most boys and young men were it was their destiny to be on the street. It was their destiny to join gangs. Especially being here, if you live, on the West Coast, you live in California,
Hmm.
that was like their goal, I almost want to put it. And if you did have the young boy who even took a liking to learning, because we did have young black boys who wrote, they like to write or they like to read or they took their schooling seriously. Eventually, there's a couple of boys I can think of in my head right at this moment where they were like good students and stuff. And I actually was attracted to that. Like I've always been attracted to intelligence and learning because I like to learn. I like to write. I like to write. I like to read. And soon enough, they were down a whole nother path. They either came back to school and they was repping this gang and they was dressing different and they was talking different. I was like, whoa, like what happened? Like You were just like on some regular cool stuff, like a cool guy, good guy. We talk about, our classes and stuff, and now saying, provocative things, and you're a part of a gang now, and it's just like, I don't know. And I think too, like, we don't I think another thing is that it's not fostered in them to excel. And I mean that all around, from not from their friends, not from, I can't even really say the men in their life, because I know people want to throw their statistics out there and say all these different things. But as far as I'm concerned, when I grew up and where I live, there was a lot of absent fathers. Y'all might be picking up the numbers in 2021, but yeah, y'all wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me address this real quick before anybody responds. Cyber, I don't know what on God's green earth would make you think that you gonna come up here after disrespecting myself and the members of TMAC and other members outside of TMAC. You are not coming up here, buddy. We've asked you repeatedly to leave us alone, to stop using our photos, to stop saying the things that you've been saying about us, and you refuse. So just go on along and go your way, sir. It ain't happening.
You know what? Honestly, he's really, really crazy. And I'm not just saying, oh, he's so crazy. He is really, really crazy, y'all. He's crazy. I think he
Something
lives
wrong
in a
with
mental
him.
hospital. That's what I believe. I believe he lives in a mental hospital or some type of assisted living for the mentally, what is it, criminally insane. He's crazy. That's not normal the way he behaves. It's not normal.
It really ain't. It really ain't. And I ain't gonna try to figure it out. You ain't my case study. I ain't your therapist, bruh. And I'm just not with it. I'm not really in the mood. I have said multiple times, because I'm not a hypocrite. I do troll, and when I troll, it's usually under my own damn account. I'm not using people photos. I'm not going to other people's chat. Pretending, letting other people think that, it's me, it's you saying foul things. Like, I don't roll like that, sir. And you need to just go on, bro. You're not coming up here, sir. You're not coming up here. It's not happening. So I don't know why you keep trying to come up here. It's not happening, bro. You don't even like me, sir.
He doesn't like
Why do you
any
want
of
to come up
us.
here?
I don't understand it.
What do you want? What do you want to say? Because if it's not, I don't even want no apology. I can't even say that, because you already did that and you still keep doing the same
Still
shit,
keeps doing
sir.
the same thing. I know.
You're
And
not
it's
coming
definitely
up
your
here,
your own
bruh.
panel, but I mean, if anything, he needs to go around and hit other people's panels and tell people that he's the one who is taking our images and our names and going to different chats, making people think it's us. That's what he needs to do. If he
Seriously,
really
sir, because
if
that
he
shit
wants to
is
come
not
in peace,
cool.
I come in peace. No, you go in peace on other people's panels and you hit up all those people's panels and you let them know exactly what you've been doing and you apologize for it and you stop doing it. That's it. There's nothing more.
Correct.
This is
That's
this
all
is
we
a
ask.
TMAC channel. A TMAC channel. All right? We don't rock like some people rock, okay? So you can't get that off over here. Now, I've given your assignment. I hope you understand it. Carry on.
And the
He ain't
sad
gonna do
part
it.
about it all is like when he was talking about like astronomy and stuff like that, he seemed really nice and cool. Like I God bless you. I'm not gonna go there. I don't need
Well,
it.
he just wants attention, so
It's
we're not even
fine.
going to talk about him no more. Let's just move on because he just wants attention. Sick motherfucker.
Facts. Super facts. I don't got time for that, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we can just get back on topic, I guess. But about the mammies and the pickmes and stuff like that. Like, are there any mammies or pickmes in film that you guys would say were the worst? Like, I don't know, here on the panel or maybe in the chat.
Oh man, girl, please, yes. Um, what about Florida Evans?
Dang,
Yeah.
really, Florida? She had
Yeah,
some mammy moments, but remember when they had that episode and she was talking about women's lib and James came in there and she stood up for herself and explained what it meant?
I don't remember that episode,
Oh, I do. I have it all on DVD. I love good times.
but I know Winona. She was my spirit animal.
Same, the glamour girl of the ghetto,
Oh my goodness,
honey.
Winona was bad.
Bad.
She was fine as she could be. She was single. She was successful. She was beautiful, had a great body. And you know, Homeboy liked her. You know that.
True. True.
Florida's husband, oh, he was all over that.
Hmm.
True. Facts. There's so many Pickmes and mammies, man. The crazy part is when I look back over, like me growing up and stuff, the best times, of life. I'd be like, damn, man, a lot of these songs, a lot of this media, man, it actually Pickmes and mammies, and that was like the staple. And you
Hmm.
don't even know until you hear some of these songs now, and I'd be like, damn, it's a
Man,
jam, but
shit is
damn, that's a
whack.
pick me ass song.
It's whack.
Yeah.
Like the
For
one we listened to
real.
together the other night. It's whack.
No
Yeah.
lie.
How about like okay, since we're talking about good times, remember Penny, who was played by Janet Jackson? Remember her
Yeah.
whole situation and how her mother would sit there and beat and try to like put that iron on that child and saying, "You stupid kid, look what you made me do," because she was doing it for a man and you gonna run another one tomorrow.
Mhm.
She was a
She put a
Mhm.
main
whole
me.
hot iron. That was so traumatizing. I was a little
Hmm.
girl looking at that.
Mhm.
That was so traumatizing.
Correct.
Oh my God.
Correct.
I never forgot that. That was deep.
I actually dated a guy who unfortunately his mother actually did that to him. Um, he would always like wear long sleeves, and one day he took off his jacket, and I was like, "Oh my God, what happened to your arm?" And he was just like, his mother was abusive to him, and she took an iron and she burnt him with it. Yeah,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine doing something like that.
I
That's
know.
just
Oh, Zio, can you
That's
drop the link again?
disgusting. I did.
Okay.
The link should be in the chat. I think I dropped
yeah.
it, Sweetie
Let's
Yeah.
see
dropped
just
it, and
dropped it.
Okay. Yeah. Because I
yeah.
just
So
what?
feel free to come up if you like. I have plenty of room.
Yeah, and you all support my good sisters channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if you care. Let's build this movement.
Facts, 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 facts. Yeah, I'm getting texts and all that good stuff. Everybody trying to get my attention. I
That you
see
to MAC, girl. What
that
you
part,
thought?
that part. But yeah, and you bet not JL in the damn comments start mocking me, Joe, damn asshole.
JL's whack. He whack. Whack sauce.
Man. But yeah, I just had to address this because with everything that's been going on, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to really get into all the specifics and stuff, even though I shouldn't give two F's about it. I'm not really trying to get too down and dirty on this live, but it's just some things that I've noticed, in this space, and the wanting to run, the even with the wanting to run TMAC out this space, and it doesn't just come from these men. It may have initially started with them, but it ain't, we have quite a few women who hopping on board when it comes to that.
Oh, most
So we have
definitely. Yep.
Goldie up here.
Hey,
Hi,
Goldie love.
Goldie.
Hey, how y'all ladies doing?
We're doing good.
We're doing good.
All
I
right.
love you. You know what I want to say? I
How are
love your
you?
voice and the way you enunciate your words. It's so cute. You have such a cute voice.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing me up, Zio.
No problem.
I appreciate it so much. Y'all know that I can't go nowhere without my baby being next to me. So I tried to come up here for just a second, but he followed me. I wanted to support you, and just come and sprinkle a little support for you during this live stream. And I thought that I would be able to just come up for just a second and keep him downstairs, but here he is following me. but
Girl, we
Oh,
love the babies. We love the
well, that's what
babies.
I was just about to say. Let me make
We
a
not them.
PSA
We
real
not them
quick.
knuckles. We not them. We
We
not
don't
these
have a
nicas.
problem with children over
We love the
here.
babies.
I
That's
don't have
right.
none of my own, but I got a lot of nieces and nephews. We don't care
Amen.
about hearing your kids in the background. That means that you are attentive and your kids
Mhm.
should be near you. You're their parent. Like that's just common
Exactly.
sense. So
Yeah.
Yeah, a
People
we
don't
don't
tell
have
them
to
mother's
about
worry about
that.
that
You
here.
don't have to apologize for your children.
exactly.
That part.
That's this YouTube space. Okay. That's
Exactly.
what they do.
mhm.
And if they don't
Correct.
hear your children in the background, they talk about that too.
I know, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
can't win either way. And I actually wanted to have a conversation about motherhood, and when I get a little time I think I'll do that. But it's really under attack, from men and from even those mammies that y'all talk about, that this video is dedicated to. I feel it is so important to call out the mammies and the Pickmes and all of those, women who are super male identified, because they are truly a danger to women who want to create a good life for ourselves. So I really appreciate you for having this stream, because they are definitely an issue.
Yeah, what they
Totally.
do, I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that what they do is they run interference at us, like giving these men a little discipline. You know, the discipline they deserve, teaching them what their parents should have taught them, what their fathers should have stuck around and taught them, and that's respect and how to talk to women. And unfortunately, we're also put in a place to explain to them what masculinity is. Do you know that so many men have asked me, what is masculine? What is masculinity? How do I lead? What am I
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
So many men.
Mm-hmm.
And these mammies and these pygmies look like you're not even the target. Move out the way. Just step to the side and mammy from the sidelines, and let us do our work here. We've got work to do as Black women. We don't need you helping them to stop us. Stop it.
Preach.
Sit down somewhere.
Yeah,
Damn.
I actually I wanted to jump up quickly, verbal, to speak to the question that you posed regarding where do boys get this from. Okay, now you ladies kind of transition the conversation into examples of the mammy and examples of the pick me, and I hope you ladies can go back to that, because we really need to be able to identify what that behavior looks like in images that we can all relate to. Okay. But I wanted to just go back just a second to the question that you posed regarding where do boys get this belief that um, academic excellence in education isn't important, or it's not a cool thing to strive to. So I wrote a couple notes, okay? And I just want to go through them real quick if that's okay with y'all.
Yes. Oh, feel free, please.
Okay.
This whole conversation. I want people to be involved because don't get me wrong, we may crack our jokes here and have a little kiki kin, but this is I take this very serious. This is a very serious topic, so please feel free to share your thoughts.
Okay. Now, in the community, we have a lot of conversations going on regarding Black men. And one thing I think that's happening is that we are lumping all Black men in the same category. And from my perspective, I'll try to go into it a little bit more at another time. But from my perspective, the African American Black male is a unique thing. Like, he's a unique being, a unique entity. Okay. No other No other group of Black men has the same culture, the same reality that the African American Black male chooses to live in today in 2021. So when we lump all other Black men, you know, the Caribbean, the African men, all of those other Black men into the same category as African American Black men, then what we're doing is taking away an opportunity to hold the American Black male accountable in America. Okay, we're talking about what's happening in Africa and all of these other areas instead of holding the Black male, the African American Black male accountable for his behavior and his actions that are that he's doing, he's perpetuating here in America. Okay, so there is a unique culture with the African American Black male. Now, the Black man, they say, was taken out the home and yada, yada, yada. But one thing we know is that most Black women had no problem until maybe a few years ago, maybe a few seconds ago, with going 50-50 with their men. Okay, that included the Black man. So if the Black man would come to the table with just half, with just 40%, sometimes even 30% of what it took to keep the family afloat, his woman would stay right there in the trenches with him. Now, y'all just talked about Florida Evans, and I used to watch Good Times, but I can't remember a whole lot of it. But one thing I know is that she was down for James. Regardless of whatever happened with James, she was right there in the trenches with him. And that's how most Black women have been for their Black men for as long as I can remember, 40, 50 years. Okay. So if a Black man would just come to the table with a little ambition, with a little effort, with a little assistance, the Black woman would pair with him and take it to the next level. Okay. Black women had no problem taking their men in and working with those men until the men would improve. Okay, they would. I'm sorry, I had somebody trying to call me. They wouldn't have a problem with working with their man until their man would improve. Yet the Black man still to this day has refused to return to the household. Instead of returning to the household with his accountability, responsibility, taking charge, and leadership, he instead wants to make excuses and blame shift, saying that he can't tolerate a woman's attitude or she refuses to be led, when in reality, he just doesn't want to bring forth the effort necessary to lead a household and to raise his own children. Okay. Now, these men also make excuses. They have a victim mentality. No matter where they go, they make themselves the victim. No matter what situation they find themselves in, if you let them talk long enough, they're going to tell you how somebody has stopped them from doing something, how they can't do something, how it's impossible for them to do something, how it's unrealistic to even think that that thing is possible for them to achieve. The success that we are talking about in terms of Black men, like you were talking, CEO, when you were younger, those young Black boys learning how to read, that requires work and sacrifice that his father refused to put in. And again, he was groomed and then raised to believing that he himself did not have to put in to achieve and accomplish his own goals. Okay, these men have been raised to be lazy, and outside of being lazy, they again rely on those excuses and reasons as to why it's impossible for them to become unlazy. Okay, and just two more. The myth that they are most masculine, they perpetuate this idea that the Black man is more masculine by having a reputation of being rough and tough. Okay, they have a hood image. And then they have this quote unquote, I call it like a killer look, where they look mean. Like I'm thinking about Debo, and I'm even thinking about Easy E back in the day with his flannels on and his dark glasses, and he just had a whole hood look to himself, and it was supposed to be scary to everybody else, and everybody else was supposed to know not to mess with him. Now, this is not an image that has been curated by the dominant society or the non-Black society. This is an image that has been curated by the Black man himself. And what what is most surprising to me is that the mammies, the Pickmes that y'all talk about, also join in on that imagery themselves. When we talk about the big bad chick, let's say in the movie Friday, the Baby D, they want to emulate that same tough hood look instead of instead of encouraging or empowering or compelling the man to see himself as more than that, and to understand that masculinity goes beyond the image that you portray. And the last one is that they reward strength over intellect. The number of women that they have sex with, the kind of women that they are able to have sex with, quote unquote, the bad bitches, or those fine women or whatever, even height, their own height, whether they are 6 feet and above. All of those things are more important to those men, whether than if they're more important than if they can read, write, and earn a livable wage. Okay. And instead of taking accountability for the reality that the American Black man has created for himself, he blames, shifts, and blames and makes excuses, makes everyone else the fault for the reality that he has created for himself and the reality he has forced his children to live in, whether those be boy children, male children, or girl children. Those children have to live in the reality that the American male has created for himself. And that's all my notes. Thank y'all for letting me get through that real fast and dealing with my baby. I appreciate it so much.
Wow,
No
that was
problem. Thank you,
amazing.
Goldie, for sharing that. That
Mhm.
was a word. Just real quick, JL, is this you?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey.
Hey,
What's up, Kaz? Celeste, what's up?
girl, Goldie cannot be
Howdy.
dropping that heat like that and just running off the panel all willy nilly now.
I know that was a
They just did a
word. That was
whole
a
sermon.
word. Sure did. Sure did. I hope y'all took y'all notes.
Girl. Oh, that girl be spitting fire. But you know what? To kind of
Facts.
piggyback off of what Goldie was talking about in that question verbal ag, I kind of was talking about it a little bit last night about when we were growing up, in elementary school and all that. The girls, they were praised and congratulated for being smart, right? By just by everybody in general, adults and students. But when it came to the boys, their intelligence was only given positive reinforcement from adults. Like when it came to other boys, that's when I would notice they would get picked on. That's when they would get clowned for not having Jordans and not dressing like kind of in street style. It would be by other boys, and I noticed like a lot of boys felt uncomfortable and they couldn't really be themselves. And just like you said, Zio, eventually they eventually try to fit in. They change themselves to fit in with the majority because it's not cool to be a good reader. It's not cool to be good in science and math, and it wasn't cool to if you didn't have a whole bunch of name brand stuff and a whole bunch of emblems all over it. You know what I mean? Like it's like the pressure for them to fit into the hood culture was a lot stronger than it was for girls. But most of the pressure came from other
Correct.
boys. That's the thing that,
Correct.
yeah. And I don't really think it was to impress girls because I hear people say that. Matter of fact, somebody said that on Jerome's panel the other
Yeah, I
day.
lost my internet, so I didn't even get to hear.
Oh, dang it, verbal.
Oh yeah, you missed the word. So you didn't hear what Goldie said.
I'm sorry, y'all. I be having extra stuff in the back. I heard I heard most of it, but then I lost my internet all of a sudden. What the
Oh,
hell is
I think
happening?
people are backstage. No, I don't think that might still be cyber, but
It is. It is. I'm not paying no attention to him. I don't know why he keep trying to come up here. I already told you, bro. You're not coming up here. You're not about to derail the conversation. There's nothing to say. You made it clear you don't like us. And just keep it pushing, sir. You don't have to be up here. You're not coming up here. So go on. Anyways, but yeah, what Goldie put out there,
Can
that
you
was
guys hear me
definitely a
now?
word. And
Can you hear me?
was that you, Verbal? Yeah, speak up a little bit.
Oh, no. We can hear you good. You ain't got to speak up.
The
Yeah,
shade.
I have this
The
delay and I don't know why, so
shade.
I'm gonna leave and come back.
Okay.
You know what? You know what?
Go ahead, get your signal situated. But you got the floor, JL. I'm ready.
That loud mic messes up the signal. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. We'll put that to the side.
So what's up? JL, you
Yeah.
came up here. What do you have to add to the conversation or what you want to say?
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Interesting conversation. A couple of things. I want to just address the Florida Evans quasi slander that's kind of happening. I think that one of the things that we got to understand in our generation, being the young people, and I think sometimes we have like this revisionist history where we don't necessarily understand the time. I feel a little uncomfortable calling Florida Evans, calling her a mammy. I think that when you really examine the time of that show, and what they were trying to project on that show, it was a time where Black people were struggling, and Black people were trying to get things together. When you look at the condition of the Black family and the condition of Black people at that time, it wasn't just sticking next to any guy. It was a guy that even if he lost his job, whatever it was, the consciousness of James was, hey, he's raising a family, he's sticking by his family, he's raising his children. So there was no, and because of that time where women didn't necessarily have the social mobility that women have today. It was one of those things where she, listen, whatever this man is saying, I'm gonna stick by it, and it was what it was.
All I hear is blah 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 blah
No,
blah
I
blah
verbal.
blah.
Yeah, but it's a
I
con.
hear a
It's a,
man mansplaining Florida Evans to us.
no, I'm not. No, I'm not at all. I'm having an objective conversation, and I think it's important to be able to do that because I think that a lot of times, like I said, we go back and we're looking at things and we're not necessarily telling the
Oh
story of the
God.
time.
Mm.
Because a mammy, the other part of it was James too, and I'll move on from this, but a lot of it was also just, you know, you're looking at the character of the guy. And when you're talking about a mammy and you're talking about a pick me, you're talking about a lot of these women that are just purposely sticking up for a guy that isn't worth anything, that isn't obtaining anything, that isn't accomplishing anything by just virtue of just standing up to next to this dude. That's just what it is. And so I just think that it's just a false
Verbal.
classification. That's just my opinion.
You know what, JL? I have to agree with you.
So
Now that you put it
I'm
like
not I'm
that
not
in the
mansplaining
context
anything.
it is,
Yeah,
I have to agree with JL because at that time, like Florida, that was her name, right? Was it Florida or Georgia?
Florida.
Evans, Florida, yeah. She couldn't divest. There was nowhere for her to go. She had no choice but to be with a broke black man because that's all that was available in her time. And wasn't he faithful? I don't remember him really messing around on her or anything like that, unless I
But
missed an
but
episode.
even aside from whether he was rich or poor, I think the deeper context is just understanding that, hey, when you were able to find somebody and you were able to be in a relationship and be married to somebody and they're raising this family, and the struggles and the things
See
that are
y'all.
taking
I'm gonna be
place,
back. Okay.
Okay, sis.
and yeah, the struggles and
I'm gonna come back. Hold my spot.
Okay.
the
Okay, got you.
struggles, yeah, the struggles and the tribulations that were facing the black home, and a brother like that was in the black home, that was raising that his children, that was there. You stuck by that brother. That was just the way that it is. You ask anybody from that generation, um, you know, and also the conscious level. This wasn't just somebody that was just, pimping and hoeing and doing this, that, and the third. This was somebody that was a hardworking, working class black man that was raising his family, which is why we love that show at the end of the day. So
That's true.
I just wanted to give that because I feel like what we have a habit of doing in this time that we're in is because we're trying to, and that's why I feel like a lot of times even when you start getting into these more intellectual conversations, sometimes like this generation we have a habit of we're picking apart things in the past, and we're not. And I talk to my parents, I talk to my uncles, and it's just like, you guys got to remember, they always tell me it didn't necessarily mean that it was right, but it was just the time and the conditions of those periods. And if we're going to have those conversations, we just can't falsely classify things and put these tags and these labels on stuff without bringing people up to date on what was going on at that time. So I just wanted to say that. But when it gets to the conversation about black males and intelligence, I think that that's wow, this back chat is crazy. Um, yeah, this is just crazy. One of the things that I'll say is, you know, I look, Zio, well, people know how I do this, man. I mean, the black family. Um, Goldie said something really interesting. She was, or somebody said something interesting to the tune of black men, being a special case. I don't know if I got that correct, right? And I add on
Black
to,
American men. Black
and black
American
American
men.
men are black case, and I believe that, right? And I think that part of that dynamic is that we need we need the structure of the black family to be whole. And so when that's not whole, first of all, for development of any young male, you need the father. I'm a strict proponent of that. I believe wholeheartedly in that. Um, and so, when it comes to masculinity, when it comes to male dominance and power, when it comes to making sense of things as a young adolescent growing up in an adult, that your mother can do so many wonderful things. My mother was been amazing to me, but without my father I would not have the understanding and the ingenuity and the application, and the that swing of how do I apply my masculinity to this situation, and when do I sort of dumb it down in these other situations, or how am I making these decisions. It's very, very imperative. So what took place in these neighborhoods, man, is um you know because of poverty and because of lack of resources, and because there's not real prime examples of black men that are achieving things, right? And so the only other way that you can get it done is, I'm going to be a rapper, or I'm going to be a ball player, because that's what's put on television by mass media, and that's what a lot of the brothers in the neighborhood are doing, right? And so if you're not seeing examples where you turn on your television, you're not seeing um, you know all of these different points where you're seeing black lawyers and black politicians and black male teachers, and just different levels of masculinity and different levels of success. And not only that, but then there's also the conversation of black male examples that are teaching you how to love a woman, how to speak to a woman, how to hold a woman's hand, how to carry yourself, how to dress. What the immediate thing is, what you see, which is the hood. And you know and your friends are trying to find themselves, and all you know is that you're a male and you have these muscles and that you have a dick. And so then that becomes important. And because you don't have a lot of access to the resources, well, now I'm robbing, I'm scheming, I'm doing this, and then the gang and the set, and
Is
that's
this
what it
you,
is.
Verbal? Hold on real quick, Dale. Is that you, Verbal?
No, that can't be.
Verbal?
That can't be. Yeah.
All right, go
um
ahead, Dale. Sorry about that. It's so many, like, I want people to come up here, but there's just so many troll accounts coming up, and I just don't know, and I don't got no time for people to be playing games with me. Like, this is really ridiculous. But go ahead, JL.
yeah. So so there was all those things. So you have to have those examples where education.
Talk,
Me.
Verbal.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Damn, with your struggle internet. Go ahead, sir. It's her.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Well,
You
we're up here. It's the fantasized struggle love hour.
verbal. Can I finish my statement without the interruptions, please? No, I got
I
love for
mean,
you.
it's the romanticized struggle love hour. So I mean,
No, I mean, and we
yeah,
can
my
go. We
internet is
can. No, we
matching.
can.
But I was wondering when you were going to pass the mic.
No, well, we can. Well,
Were you going to pass the mic? Were you ever going to pass
well,
the mic, JL?
first of all, Goldie
Can you
had
just
free.
pass the mic? We get
First
it.
of
You
all,
love struggle
Goldie.
love. You
No,
enjoy
first of
the
all, no, no,
poverty
no, no,
and the
no, no.
struggle that
I
Florida
never
Evans,
said.
she
I
held her
never
man
said.
down.
I
She was a
never
ride or
said
die chick. We
anything.
got it. We
I don't believe in
understand it.
any.
It
Did
was
you
a
ask
terrible
me?
show.
But did
It was
you ask
horrible.
me? But did you ask?
It
You
was a
didn't
horrible,
ask.
terrible show.
Verbal,
That's
did
what it
you
was. It was
ask?
terrible.
Verbal, did you ask? Or are
It
you assuming?
romanticized
Verbal, but
poverty,
I know, but verbal, you gotta
and
have a
that was not
conversation.
the business.
But verbal,
Would
you
you
have
want
to
to
have
live
a
like that?
conversation. Verbal, if we're gonna have the
I don't think any
conversation,
woman on
let's
this
have
panel will want to live like Florida Evans,
verbal. Do
honey.
you want to have the
Let's stop
conversation? Verbal, do
romanticizing
you want to have the
poverty and struggle. Let's
conversation?
stop doing that.
We can have the conversation, but we
We
can't
are
talk
having
at
the
each other.
conversation, but you
I
won't
know,
pass
but
the
you're
mic. You're not
assuming
passing the
things.
mic.
Goldie had free reign to speak. Everybody had free reign to
You're
speak.
not passing the mic. Goldie didn't speak as
I
long as
didn't.
you.
I never landed my plane. Verbal. You got up
That's
I
what
here.
I'm
mean, to
asking you
be
to
fair,
do. Land the plane, bro.
let's be fair now. Let
Jeez.
him go ahead
God damn.
and
I just don't
finish his
this
think
tiny violin
piece.
struggle love is killing me though. But
I
Yeah, but I
know,
I'll
I
never.
go back on
know.
the
I have a
man. This
comment
is what
on
I'm
it. I
saying.
have a comment
Sometimes
on it too.
Yeah, but let's.
woo,
Yeah,
I
but
know, I
let's.
know.
Yeah,
Let's
but
it's
let's.
let
almost
him
like he's
finish.
afraid to get the pushback, so he wants to keep on talking and talking. That's
No,
just what
I'm
it
not
seems
afraid.
We
like.
No,
gonna
I'm not
get
afraid to get
we
anything. But
we're
I'm
gonna
first.
get there. We're gonna hold on, everybody. We're gonna get there. Everybody's gonna have their chance. Let him finish getting his stuff off, and then verbal, you can respond afterwards. Go ahead, JL. Go ahead.
So the first thing is that if we're gonna have the conversation, let's have the conversation. I
Don't do
think that
that, JL.
everybody.
Just say what you're gonna say. Don't come up here checking women's panels.
I'm not
Please don't do
checking
that.
anybody. I'm not
You
checking
Sis,
are.
verbal. Verbal.
come
Do
You
we have a
are.
problem?
on. Come,
You're
Wait, do
mansplaining
we
it
have a
right
come
now,
problem?
and
Wait,
you
do we
on.
have
come
a
up here
problem?
with some
Wait,
kind
Let's
of
wait, wait. Do
play
authority to
wait? Do
tell
we have a
people what to
fair.
problem?
do. Just
No, no, I'm
Let's
saying
continue.
verbal. Do we
play
have a problem? Do we have
The
a
fair,
host
problem?
asked you to continue, so
everybody.
just
Wait, no, no, no. I'm just
continue.
asking a question because I don't know what's going
Damn,
on.
just go.
Me and you've never had a
Just,
problem. Do
I
we have
know,
a
but
problem?
just go. Just go.
I know, but
You're
what's the
being
problem?
condescending up here. I can hear it.
How
So
am I
just
being
go.
condescending towards who?
Just continue.
You know
Go
what? It's
ahead,
cool. You
JL.
know what, Zio? I'll,
Continue.
I'll let y'all have it, man. Celeste, Goldie, Kaz. I was trying to make my point. I couldn't make my point. I don't rock like that. I don't know what's
You
going on
made your
with verbal. I
point,
don't know what the
but
issue
you
is.
won't land the
I don't know
plane.
what it is. I know, but that's like borderline disrespectful. And I don't talk to
Come on,
anybody like that.
guys. Let's all
He's
get
just I
along.
don't
So
he's got triggered over people not liking. He took it personal
That's
that
not a
people don't
trigger. No,
like.
but that's not a for first of all,
But your struggle
but if you
love
had an
splaining to
issue,
us,
but if you
and
had
you
an
won't land the
issue,
plane and let
yeah, but
somebody else get
verbal, I
in.
know, but verbal, if you had an issue, you could have said, what do you think about that show? What is your
I
perspective
didn't
on
care
love?
what you thought
We can
about it.
talk
That's why
about
I
that.
didn't
I
ask
understand, but
you.
you're
You just hopped up
assuming
here to tell us
something.
how wrong we
But
were
verbal,
about
you're
it.
presuming, yeah, but I'm giving a different perspective. I'm not saying that it's all glory
Well,
and
I
roses.
actually understand the
Like, what are you
perspective that
talking about? Like,
JL is
you're
giving.
bugging out right now.
Yeah, I
To be completely
understand
honest.
Jail's point in
Like,
it.
let me finish my point. First of all, I never
You get
said
it.
anything about agreeing with struggle up. I think that at the end of the day, we got to get it. It's tough in America. It's tough in this country. The business of this country, you got to do what you have to do. And so it's always been incumbent for Black men to make sure that we are taking care of the home, that we are responsible, that we are earning. The potential is there. We can earn and we can do great things. But we put a lot of speed bumps and roadblocks in front of us to get there. And we've made it hard, even with white supremacy, which is one of the reasons why I don't even like saying that shit, because I'm never going to let, no matter how many roadblocks that this country inherently places in front of us, I'm never going to do that. I don't come from a family like that. And on top of that, I don't come from struggle love. I came from love. I came from two people that loved me. I came from an example of a man that to this day, at 72, he lays it down. I speak from a completely different thing. So the disrespect, I take it a little bit differently because that's never where I come from. When I talk to my older parents or my parents, when I talk to my older my the family and the members of my family, they always tell me that yeah, there were things that happened at that time that wasn't okay and that wasn't wrong. And obviously there's certain things, obviously, when you get into the more in-depth things and the more things that we know, obviously, there even in the movement, we can go back into those days where women were standing up with Black men, but they were also taking a lot of shit. It wasn't right. We're not going to defend that. But when you talk about the nucleus of the home at those times, yeah, there were certain behaviors and there were certain things that you look at and you look at a Florida James and you're saying, I can't rock with that. I wouldn't mess with that. We're in different times. But at the time that that show was aired, it was a depiction, an accurate depiction of what it was, for the most part, of black men and black women raising a family. And for the most part, that man, even with certain things here and there, the character of who he was and what he represented was someone that you would want to stand with. And there's a lot of brothers that what it was what it is. And and just to sum it up as just struggle love, no, it was hard. And we're educated enough and we understand that we weren't getting those FDR loans. And you got people that were coming from the military that had fought for this country at the highest level that weren't able to get opportunities. So it wasn't it was struggle love. No, yeah, it was a struggle, right? But it wasn't intended. It wasn't that you were putting this person through, just horrible conditions. We were trying to figure it out amongst a lot of different things. So that's why I'm saying it's not a trigger for me. A lot of times we're classifying things that happened in the past and we're not giving the proper context. I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just saying that that was what the time was. That's all that it is.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I want to say. But the coming at me and all that kind of stuff, like I mean, y'all can have it. I don't even play that kind of game.
Okay.
Let's
Let
let's
me
be
let me just
respectful.
let
Let's be respectful.
hold on. Let me make an announcement. So I do want everybody to say their opinion, no matter how much it may differ from what someone else might think. As long as nobody's being disrespectful, I don't want anybody to feel disrespectful or being feel disrespected here on the panel. Everybody's opinion who's on here, I trust everybody who's on here. I understand that we come from all different backgrounds and we all have different opinions. So let's just all keep, you know, respect for everybody and let them get their stuff off no matter how much we may agree. And then you can counter argue, once they're done. So he's done. Go ahead and respond, Verbal. What do you feel?
I feel like it was so we're having this enjoyable panel, right? And this is the angle where I'm coming from. Now, JL knows how I feel about him. So if he wants to be mad and hold a grudge and feel like whatever, that's fine. He's entitled to his opinion. You're entitled to your feelings, JL. But hearing all of that, for me personally, the way that you came onto the panel and the way that the tone that you were using, it felt like it was this mansplain correction to me. That's how it felt to me. And then it was the over explaining and it was super, super long. And it just felt like you were trying to lecture us on this conversation that we actually as women didn't even get to flesh out yet, right? So that was just a little irritating for me. So if you feel that I disrespected you, I apologize because I don't want to do that to you. So as far as I'm concerned, we're good. I just was irritated. I just was really
I get
irritated.
that. I get that. But again, I mean,
So so I
and I
apologize. I
no, and I
apologize.
no, and I take that. But no, I one of these are things that I opine on and I think about and I look and listening to old music and all of these different things. And so no, I didn't come up there with what I did. I think again, my argument was the deeper idea of just the reclassification of history, because that's just a thing that's a trigger for me. It wasn't the idea of trying to mansplain or trying to read anything down. I mean, I'm sorry if that was the tone. Maybe you misread my tone, and maybe I didn't send out the right tone. I mean, but I do believe that there is a conversation about a lot of things that happen in history that I see people that are younger than me that are trying to just like sort of reclassify, and it just it's just intellectually ridiculous sometimes. And so I mean that's really what it is. I mean the deeper issue is we've moved on now, and that women don't have to be in those positions, and women have choices, and women have done a lot of great things, and they're bigger and better for it. But at the time I was more just let's contextualize the time and the setting, because a lot of times when we're having conversations about things in the past, we're not contextualizing the time and the setting. That's all.
Well, again, like I said, and it was my turn, and you took the mic again. But
I was
so
responding
yeah,
to what you said,
you
Verbal.
want the mic again? I'll give you the mic.
I
I'll go
was
on mute.
responding,
Come
Verbal.
on,
We don't have to be
come on.
petty,
We
Verbal.
were just being
But
great.
again,
Everyone
and
has a difference of opinion here.
but again, and I just
We're gonna have to
Did I have the
understand
mic,
that
Zio,
everyone,
or
we
did I
have to
not
be,
have the mic? Every time I say something, he
you,
cuts me off. So
I
I'll just go on
responded to
you
you
mute.
for
It's
did
a minute.
have
okay.
the,
You
I'll
paused,
just
and
go
then
on mute. I won't say anything. That's okay.
No, you know
you
what?
did
No,
have
Zio,
the
no,
mic
Zio, I'll
verbal
drop.
because
No,
we're
no, no, no,
supposed
I'll
to be
drop.
having
No,
a
I'll drop. I'll drop.
conversation.
No, it's fine. I'll drop. I'll
Can
put
I
me in
can I
I
queue.
just mention
appreciate you,
something?
JL.
You
Thank
just,
you for coming up. I do appreciate your
yeah, she's just being
opinion.
rude at this
I
point,
don't
you know.
want I don't want anybody to feel like they can't express themselves here. Thank you for coming up. I'm sorry that this is happening. People sometimes you get riled up when they don't agree.
But can
And
I
for
just
me
say,
personally, I understand where you're coming from when you speak on the times of what was going on, and that's why that show was prominent at that time. And I also understand where my sister's coming from, where as women, especially black women, we not on that time no more. We're not accepting the basics. We're not accepting the bare minimum anymore. You guys are
obviously,
both have a great point. So I don't see why we can't come together and just agree to
Just because I
disagree.
can't get it out, Zio. That's all. That just
well,
because I
Zio,
can't speak at all. That's all.
And I'll say this too. And I mean, I don't know. I want to be on the panel. I want to be able to rock, but we got to be able to respect each other. This is something
Yeah, and it
that
goes
Correct.
both
at a
ways
certain
because
point
you
where it's just
I
like if
stay
I'm not,
quiet, but I stay
if
quiet,
I'm coming
for a
in,
long
but if I'm
time.
coming
And
in
then
love,
Yeah,
when Gio
one
gave
at a
me the
but hold
time.
mic,
on,
Can we
but wait,
talk one
hold
at
on
a
a second,
you
time?
but hold
started
on. If
talking
I'm
over me
coming,
again.
but if I'm coming,
This is
but if
why I
I'm
don't even
coming
want to be
in,
on panels with men
yeah,
at
but
all.
okay, that's fine. If I'm coming in love and if I'm coming with respect, and my character is not the character of all of these other people, then why am I being treated like that? And so it's one of those things where it's just like we got to give each other grace. We got to give each other some form of embrace.
Correct.
We can't just like talk over people. And
You
when you
just
hear
talked
something,
over me
I know, but the
though.
way that you this when I was
It's the
making
way
my
I feel
point,
the same way
but
about
verbal
your
it goes,
behavior.
but
Stop
verbal it
stop
goes
acting
both
like a
ways.
victim because you're not a
I'm not
let
acting
victim.
like
let
I'm not acting like
let
a victim,
let's be
verbal. You're not
fair,
even letting me
guys. Let's
finish when
be
I'm talking.
fair.
Maybe you
Let's
need to
be
put a
fair.
timer.
Well, I know, but when Goldie was
Initial
speaking, remember Goldie didn't have a timer.
she
If I'm,
she didn't
come
have a
on now.
timer. That is correct. Initially, JL was making his point. Yes, he is
Seriously, yo.
long-winded, but he wasn't able to complete it. You wanted him to hurry up, and we don't want to do that to anybody because we don't want anyone doing that to us on
Right.
the panel. Let's be
Exactly.
fair
And
to
what did I and
everybody.
let's be fair. Well, if we're gonna be fair, we're gonna be fair all the way. Because once you said that and then I realized what I was doing, I stopped and stayed quiet and he went on again for like another like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, which is
He
fine.
did.
And
He's
then you gave me
long-winded.
the mic. Remember you gave me the mic?
Correct. I did
And
give.
then
Yes, I did.
when you gave me the mic, he cut me off again. That's what
He
happened.
did. I addressed that. That is correct. Once I did give you the mic, yes, JL, you did interrupt again. But we're gonna have to. We're adults here. We're adults here. Where emotions are being high, and we're gonna have to bring it down and come to. This is a conversation. No one's threatening anyone up here. There's no threats up here. We are on social media. This is a conversation. And we may not agree with everything that everyone is saying, but we both on both hands, no matter if it's woman, man, whoever it is, we're gonna have to learn to respect each other, and it goes both ways. And if you're gonna apologize for it, whether it be both ways, but you guys were on, hey, I'm sorry, you guys are both, at this point, both you guys emotions are, in it right now, and it doesn't need to be. This is just a conversation. So JL, if you want to stay on, I would appreciate if you did. If you don't, you can drop down if you want to. I don't want you to do that, but it's up to you. But yes, let me give the mic to Verbal because yes, it was her turn at that end where I let you finish, and I want her to get her stuff off, please.
No
So
problem.
are you gonna stay here or are you
Yeah, I'm
gonna
rocking. Yeah, I'm rocking. I'm
drop
rocking.
off?
No,
Okay,
I'm
just
rocking.
go ahead and mute up. Go ahead and mute up and go ahead, Verbal, and state what you want to say.
All right, thank you. Jerome, stop trolling in the chat. We good. All right, we good. Sometimes family, we have our little disagreement. JL will be all right. Okay, I'll hit him up in the email and talk sweet to him, and he'll be just fine. Listen, I it's not that I understand I understand the time of Good Times. I understand the context and everything. However, the ladies were just starting that conversation, and we actually didn't get to flesh out the whole conversation, because I'm pretty sure if we were able to do that, we would have gotten to that. But see, this is a bigger context because of those images. And yes, those were images of that people were living in real life. But to popularize it on television the way that they did, it just reinforced that this is how Black people should live. This is how Black women should live. This is what Black women should accept. And I just don't romanticize that time. It was a very hard time for both Black men and women. And it was harder for women. And yeah, she was definitely married to this man who, obviously clearly didn't make much money at all. She seemed to be a stay at home, she stayed at home or what have you. But they were like on food stamps and welfare, and there was only what, like two bedrooms. The boys were sleeping. It was just a really, and they lived in the projects. And these are the images that they gave to Black people. Liberal whites enjoyed giving us these types of images. And the first time that I remember seeing us on screen just looking like regular people without all these damn struggles was the Cosby Show. Now that is the life that I remember growing up. That was my family, the Cosby Show. Not that Florida Evans James stuff. That was not my reality. So I never, the show was enjoyable to me as a child, but I remember always feeling sad for them. There was always this level of depression in what I was seeing. So I don't think that it's something that we should, you know, prop up as some kind of good thing. And it's definitely not good for women nor children. And was she a mammy? Yes, she absolutely was a mammy. Just because mammyism was what do you call it, normal back then, doesn't make her not a mammy. She was still mammying it up. And it is what it is. Most Black women were mammies back then. And that is what we are trying to change. That is what is changing. We don't want those images about us anymore. Those images are degrading. They're disrespectful. So, that's all I had to say about it. There is not anything, there is nothing. No, I can't, I can't appreciate that kind of thing. I'm done.
Okay.
Can I
You done
respond to
verbal?
that?
Okay. So did you want to respond to that, JL?
No, verbal is 100% correct. Verbal is 100% correct. I mean, but I think the issue that I think that kind of, that I sort of throw a flag on is just, I don't think that there's a romanticism. I think that I mean, black art and black culture and sometimes it's beautiful and sometimes it's amazing and it's incredible, but there's also dark spots, and some of it is by writers and producers that control the narrative. But then there's also points where there is a true depiction that and by the way, that family wasn't necessarily a depiction of everybody, because I've had conversations with my grandparents, and you know they weren't, my parents, my mom wasn't on food stamps. That was a they were in the projects, and I believe that was in New York City. And that's why you got to go back and do your history, where there were those projects and why those projects were built and who were in those projects and all of that stuff. But the deeper context, and I think one of the reasons why, because listen, everybody has a right to their opinion, and there are women that certainly agree with verbal, but there's a lot of people, and from generation to generation, that show still exists, because it was the understanding that the condition of the times that were going on, and the just the dire straits that we were under as the black community, and that even within all of that, you still had black family, you still had black parenthood, you still had black love. And even though that we're under these dire situations, well, remember, she didn't have a lot of opportunities, obviously, because she was black and she was a woman. But also, as that black man just didn't, it wasn't a bed of roses at that time either. But we're going to stick this out, we're going to work, and we're going to figure this out. And you make the great point about the Cosby Show. It was a great turning point. But remember, that was in the 90s when things were changing. We were starting to get more power and we were starting to make a lot more money. But even at that time, that show also got criticism. You know why? Because it wasn't a full depiction of the black family. There was a lot of people that weren't dealing with that, that couldn't connect to that because that wasn't their experience, or they didn't know how to access that experience. So
Right.
I keep going back to this, and I, again, we can, I feel like we're on the same plane. I just feel like we're, maybe I'm not seeing what you're seeing, you're not seeing what I'm seeing, but I think that it's just, we've got to understand that these were capsules in time of things that took place, and it wasn't
Hmm.
right, and it wasn't okay, and we have more opportunities now, but there was a reason why those things existed, and there are lessons. It's, we shouldn't just, just because there's things about it that we don't like, that we just discard it or throw it away. But we look at that point and we say, hey, we've come a long way from that, and we continue to strive. But the importance of the black family, even with all of those conditions that we were being put under, we're still here, and we're still sticking it out. And that was the attitude, and that was the vibration. That's why that show still continues to air to this day.
Yeah, I definitely understand the appeal of that show, why it was popular and all of that. And it was funny. All right. There were cute moments and everything. But again, when you're talking about context, again, when you're looking past the cuteness of it and this black love and this struggle in this together, when you're looking at that, and then and our little girls are watching this is the message that they're getting, that this is the life they should live. This is what's normal for them. And they can't have anything past this. This is what they should expect. This is how they should expect to live. And that is just not an image that I find valuable for me, nor my black daughters. That's just not an image I find valuable. And yes, of course, I mean, every show gets pushback. Every show. Some people like it, some people don't. The Cosby Show pushback was that it was quote unquote unrealistic, which was also offensive, because what people wanted to
Correct,
see
correct.
was that struggle, love. See, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how all black people live. Black people don't live like the Cosbys. This is fake. But all of the Brady Bunch, no one cared to that they were seeing every white show. The majority, I mean, really, what up until I want to say Married with Children, they didn't show you poor white families and they're in this struggle and the mother has to hold her man down and the kids are sleeping in the living room on the pull-out couch. They didn't show that.
Verbal, can I
But
respond?
was that, hold on one second, let me finish.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be realistic for them? But we can't have these good families. We can't have, see, and that's the problem. And a white, of course, you should know, a white man created that show. And Mike
Of
keeps
course.
putting it in the chat as if we don't know. But I do know, and maybe you know too, JL, that
Of course.
that uh the producer of that show, the creator of that show, white liberal man at that, didn't even want Florida Evans to have a wife at all. So he really wanted the struggle on her ass. I mean, he really wanted to show the struggle. And she actually fought to have even a piece of a husband for that show. So white liberals,
Okay, now
especially back in the day,
hold
have
on one
been
minute.
really
Let me
trying to paint
go
us
ahead
a
and finish
certain
your
way.
point up, verbal, and I want
Yeah, I'm
I want
finished.
other people to
I'm finished. I'm
chime
finished.
in.
I'm
All
finished.
right. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in? I'm loving the dialect, but I also want to give other people on the panel a chance. Cass, you want to chime in, or Goldie, she like to chime in. Celeste, if you want to come back
Where's
Sure.
up, I'm not
Celeste
sure if you
go?
have something to do, my sis, but please feel free to come back up. If you can. Did anybody else want to chime in?
Sure. Like, so on like the Good Times whole, debacle, I guess that's what it is now. Uh I enjoy watching it and whatnot because, like, my grandmother, she did grow up during that time, but then again, she did grow up in the silent generation. But the 70s were the formative years. And I like to see the differences in the family, like, dynamics. Kind of like Walona when she finally took in Penny and she was showing her, like, you can make it, you can take care of a child, you can do it on your own and whatnot, especially with adopting. But I feel like one of the things that show like really like showed at that time, the difference the different dynamics there can be. Like, for example, coming back to Penny and Willona, when Willona thought she was going to have that man in the beginning, and she kept saying, all I thought, because she had a couple of husbands prior to that, she always thought all I wanted was a man that didn't run me crazy, that loved me for me and wouldn't like step out on her. But she found out like the biggest love she could ever have was not just for herself, but for a child. And this is a woman who never had children until she adopted Penny. Or seeing the differences within Florida from season one going all the way into the end of the season, when she starts like after James' death, when she starts like dating that other guy, Carl, and she's trying to like learn more about like how do I act like this, like how do I act on a date now? There are different things that people expect. Or it's bringing up even with Bernadette Stans playing her daughter and seeing the different dynamics that she had with the men that she dated, all the way with her husband Keith, and actually taking the time to say, okay, I know you're always the breadwinner. You feel shame if you can't do this and that. It's okay to say that you're failing, that you need help. But also in the end, with him making it back up and then helping to support the family and still being, a part of it. So I feel like the thing about Good Times, I don't look at it to be a the end all be all critique of the Black family, but it did show different slices of the Black family life, like what it could be. Because if we think about it, we can't sit there and pretend that there weren't a lot of households that were very similar to these, characters. Well, the Evans family, So I mean, I take the good with it. I take the bad. I like when they started talking about the women's liberation, or how Florida essentially says in one episode that she's overdone, that she had too much to do, that she had to tell James that you guys are just taking for granted all the work that I do. I know I'm not outside of this house, but do you realize I cook, I clean, I make sure your homework is together, I make sure I'm going to all these things with your school, I have to make sure that Michael's not joining a gang, even though in that episode we all know, James handled that. But it shows all the different sides. So I mean, that's how I feel on it. I don't expect people to agree with it, but that's just how I see it.
I agree completely.
Alrighty.
No, I do too. Alrighty then. Anybody else wanted to add their 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents?
The one thing I'll say, I think that it's very interesting about the Cosby Show is I think that it's we when we're looking back on these shows and we look at the responses and how the Black community thinks about these things, you also have to really understand that for a lot of people, it wasn't that they did not want to see that. It's that they did not understand that because they didn't have the accessibility to that. They didn't know what it was for there to be parents that were a doctor and a lawyer. That was just
Facts.
not a that just wasn't there in that way. And so people hate what they don't understand. And as time went on, and then when that show transitioned into a different world, that was when it was like, oh, this show had to work through the collective Black understanding of what it was for that at that time for it to be Black excellence and Black education and the HBCUs, and that it birthed the generation, but it had to work through the chasm of a lot of bullshit that takes place because of a lack of access and a lack of resources and understanding and the vision of what we can be. And so that's why when we talk about those things, and that's why even going back to the Florida evidence, conversation, it's we have to understand the time. Verbal is not an idiot by any source of the imagination. And even though we have a disagreement, the respect is still there. But Verbal is not going to just allow her daughter to just watch that show without explaining what was going on at the time. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing that I think is very important for us to understand. It's not that we're praising it. It's not that we're making excuses for it, but it's understanding that that was what those conditions were for the most part for the Black family in the 1970s in New York City in those projects. I lived it. Well, I didn't live it, but I come from that. That's my mother's side of the family. I can speak to that because that's in my family. So it's what it is, and it's understanding that was that time, and that's what we're transitioning into this time. But just because we don't like certain parts of it, it doesn't mean that we just, and to put it under the guise of struggle love. No, I mean, parts of history, you understand that, these were things that we had to go through. These are the conditions that we were under. And so that's why sometimes when we put a certain blanket tag on something and we sort of denounce it or dismiss it, and for a lot of other people, maybe not for in this room or this on this panel, but there are a lot of other people that they understand what that is, and the deeper understanding of, we loved each other even with those conditions, even with all of that nonsense, even what was put under us with that show that doesn't necessarily even encapsulate systematically, politically, what was going on for that time. We loved each other. And when you're having that conversation versus the things that are happening now, when you juxtapose the two, when we have more opportunities, when we have more access, when we have more of a scope, where we have more imagination and understanding of what we can do and what we can accomplish it, and we've done it, but we're still having all of these issues. And now more than ever, the Black family is under attack more than it was under that time with those conditions. It's even more of a point to be able to look at that and reflect on that.
Can I jump in here?
Of course, go ahead.
Okay, I think the thing is that on one side we say that most of us couldn't relate during that time, but the reality is that what that show has proven is that the Black man didn't have to leave his home. And that's the takeaway that I think that we could focus on, is that if we want to talk about James in a positive light, is the fact that he stayed and tried to, have a family, and he did raise his family into his death. Now, if we want to talk about Florida being a mammy, that's one thing. But aside from that, the reality is that in 2021, so many Black men have said that the reason why they are where they are and our families are where they are is because such and such took the man out of the home. But James is an example that if a man wanted to be in a home, the woman was going to allow him, to the point that she would struggle in the projects with him, raising 3 children, just to make it happen. So it takes away the excuse from the man that he didn't have the power to do better. And
Exactly.
today, when women continue to support men who have not evolved past where James was 40 years ago, those are the women that we are effectively separating ourselves from, because the excuses are over. When I spoke earlier, it's a whole bunch of excuse making coming from the African American Black male in particular. When we talk about education, every other group of Black men value education, they value advancement, they value working and sustaining a family. But when it comes to the Black American male and the mammy who supports him, we get excuses, and we give passes on that. And if we want to keep talking about this TV show, then that just goes to prove it. Those mammies, or if we want to consider Florida a mammy, then the women who are supporting Black men in their mediocrity today are of the same ilk, and they can stay over there. That's not a reality or an example that any of us, want to revisit or bring into our 2021. If anything, we want to aspire to, as you guys spoke earlier about the Cosby Show, we want to aspire to that and show education like in a different world. But the excuses are done, because James has proven to everyone, and Florida have proven to everyone just how far they were willing to go. It's not a reality today. It's just excuse making, and we're done with that. We are beyond that.
True. Facts.
I just want to know why Casimira keeps changing her picture.
She is,
It's an
Cass.
internal, a form of expression.
She
It's
keeps
more than
changing it based on what's happening on the panel. I see you. I see you.
Facts. Facts.
Made me no mind.
I mean, I'll throw my little couple of words. I ain't gonna say much because I think you guys are doing a great job. Again, at the end of the day, in a nutshell, I feel like like I said earlier, I understood where JL was coming from, and I understand where the lady is coming from, and you just gotta understand, we tired, we tired, and we don't want to accept the bare minimum at this point, and we still live in a time, as far as most of us are concerned, that men are still just they don't even want to do that. We live in times where they don't even want to do that. So um it's unfortunate, and it goes back to the women who accept it, and uh I can't really remember Good Times and Death, even though that was like one of my granny's favorite shows. But I think the difference is, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, um, is I think for me, it's not only the fact that, okay, he was, as far as, he did the best that he could, he worked, he was an upstanding father, but for me, it's the problem with these women who pretty much be in these relationships is the fact that they think that other women have to do it as well. Where we need to accept the bare minimum because that's what they're going through and that's what they accept. And I think that is a huge issue. If you willing to accept that and that's the life you want to live and you're happy in that, then that's fine. But you're not gonna tell me what I should accept and what my standard should be. I find it comical, and that's a big issue for me when it comes to women like that who find themselves in a situation where they're willing to accept the bare minimum.
Yeah,
These comments are crazy. Oh my
I know
god.
they going ham in the
No, I'm
chat.
talking about this back chat. What the hell is
Oh, I
going
think that's
on?
probably Cyber.
Oh,
That's cyber.
He got his little jollies when me and you were having our little debate,
you
JL.
see,
But
but see now
they
verbal.
no
Now you know
brother,
what they're gonna
y'all.
do. Verbal.
Don't
They're
do
gonna
that.
take
They
verbal. You know what
stupid.
they're gonna do. They're gonna take this. They're gonna this channel, that channel, this, that, and the third. Oh, this you. Come on now, verbal. Come on now.
I know, but they're
Are you
just
listening to
dumb.
me, verbal? Do I have to get that? Do I have to get on that?
I'm talking to you, verbal.
I'm talking to you, verbal. All right, all right.
Y'all, it ain't no love laws. Listen, that's my brother. Y'all are stupid. But yeah, we're gonna disagree sometimes. It's normal. I don't know why people don't think that that's normal. But didn't nobody cuss nobody out or call anybody out their name. So we're good. Y'all just relax.
Nah, they're gonna rip this shit.
Man, they done everything else, so who cares?
Yeah,
We are
yeah, yeah.
everything. We done brought all kinds of white boys all up in the community and stuff. I mean,
Oh
we're to blame for
man.
everything that
Oh
goes on.
man.
It rained yesterday. I think it's TMHC's fault. I'm
It
for
never
real.
rains in Southern California, but yeah.
Exactly. So it must be well, there's two TMAC members,
There you
on
go.
the West
There you go.
Coast.
There
So,
you go.
we brought the
That part.
rain.
That part.
Sitting on
Cali
the
in
rain
the
day.
building. Cali in the building. If you're a supporter, if you in the chat and you on the West Coast, put it in the chat, please. We different.
So different. So
So
different.
so different.
But Goldie, yeah, I had to drop. I messed up. My internet messed up. TMHC did it. They messed up my internet. So
Shout out to Pacoima Project.
not Pacoima Project.
Oh
See, that's why you
wow.
like. That's why you like Good Times.
He said
No,
That's
that's
why
not
he
Pacoima.
good
like
time.
Good Times.
No,
Now I
verbal,
see.
verbal. That's not good times. There's nothing good time about Pacoima Project.
Shoot, it wasn't nothing good time-ish about Good Times. It was
Yeah,
just funny for
but
you.
goddamn, we had a chance for Pacoima Project.
There ain't no chance in Pacoima. I ain't even
There you
heard of
go.
no Pacoima Project. I heard of Hawaiian Gardens.
Well, I
Oh
mean, yeah,
yeah,
Hawaii.
there's a
Yeah.
Pacoima. Yeah, Hawaiian Gardens. Yeah.
I heard of
Wow.
Pacoima, but not Pacoima Projects.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
So the whole of Pacoima is the projects, basically.
No, it's
I
not.
mean, not the whole thing, but I mean, usually when people say it, that's the first thing that you think.
Oh man,
you know.
Riverside is becoming the entire Riverside is becoming the projects too.
No, you're lying.
No, I'm
Wow.
serious.
That's
I'm
Riverside
crazy.
dead
was
serious.
nice. I haven't been out there in about 3 years. Oh
Dead,
wow,
dead, dead, dead ass.
wow,
Yeah,
wow.
it's ghetto in Riverside now.
That's
Be-
crazy.
because
Cause I
what they've been
remember it being
doing
a
is,
nice.
yeah, they've been it's gentrification. So now these certain people want to move more inward, closer to their jobs and closer to the beach and all of that. And so they're raising the rates, they're raising housing costs in the inner, the inner areas in the city part, and they lowered the housing out in the Inland Empire. And so people, black and brown people who couldn't afford, could no longer afford to live, or they wanted to buy a house, the only place they could find one that was, you know, affordable for them was out there. Moreno Valley, Riverside, Fontana. So it's just a gentrification happening. And now it's basically folks here have ran over there, out there, and it's been a switch up. So yeah, Riverside is, phew, man. And I used to live in out there. I used to live in Moreno Valley, and it
That's
was not like that
crazy.
when I lived out there at all.
Yeah, I don't remember it being like that either. I don't really go over there. I might drive through there because I'm going somewhere else, but I ain't really been in that area to really check it out. But yeah, things are changing. They are mixing and, doing all this stuff. We got the, train going through Crenshaw, you
Oh man,
know.
Oh
Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy. It's
when I seen that,
insane.
I was like, "That's oh god, yeah, yeah."
And they're about to try they're about to they want to put a train or tram like thing that goes through LAX, which will get rid of all of the shuttles. Um all of those people be out of work. The Teamsters represents them. So, yeah, they want to get rid of those shuttles and put a train that goes right and makes stops at each what do they call that? The gates make stops at each gate.
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah,
air train,
yeah,
the same thing
yeah.
we do here at JFK.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all those shuttles, and because they want to cut down on congestion and everything, it would be nice and convenient, but all these people are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah, facts. So I got a question for anyone on the panel can answer. So just let's drifting back up to the topic. Does anybody have any real life experiences or maybe a story of themselves of mainly I want to say maybe somebody who was a pick me and like what did you think about that?
Why Celeste keep leaving? You think she's having internet problems? Because it seems like she
Probably
would have talked by now too.
probably. Yeah, that is weird. She dropped
Goldie,
off.
do you want to take that?
Yeah, anybody know any pygmies where you had an experience with them, and you just kind of shook your head like, wow, like this is how you living, just to put it kind of nicely.
I can just mention this one lady I knew. The crazy thing about pygmies and stuff is that they be so pretty. I mean, these girls would be like so pretty. But I knew this one girl who was um she was a young mother. And I think that a lot of times, like pygmyism is rooted in, I think it was Zio that mentioned it early in this stream, um, that is rooted in like low self esteem or low confidence or something like that.
Correct.
Um,
Insecurities.
Insecurity, yeah, but she was a young mother. And this culture that we're in now, where motherhood is demonized, and we really, as women who, if you ladies feel about motherhood the way I do, if we support motherhood and we think that the role of a mother in raising children is a great thing. We need to talk more about it because the culture that we live in now, mothers are demonized. And with her being a young mother, I think she carried around a lot of guilt. And in our community, even though we have, I think, 74% of our children born out of wedlock, there is an immense guilt associated with birthing a child out of wedlock. Y'all know I had my first child out of wedlock and I was 33. So I could imagine how a younger woman feels, being a single mother, as a young woman. But anyway, she had a child young. And I think that's kind of what set her up to fall into this path. But she was just a really pretty girl. And she had so many options even after becoming a mother at a young age. She was about 17 or 18. So she wasn't, 14 or nothing like that. She still could have gone to college and done different things, but just that weight and the societal consternation that she felt or faced regarding her choice to be a mother, I think weighed heavy on her, and it affected the choices that she made in men. And I think a lot of the Pickmes feel that they are fortunate to be selected or have the attention of a man or the validation or the confirmation of a man, and it causes them to overly identify with those men, to side with the men, to pacify the men, to make excuses for the men, to allow the men to lean on them, to accept their excuses, and all of those different things. But she found herself in a really terrible situation with the guy who wasn't the father of her children. And I would try to talk to her, just I would listen and be there for her. It was never any judgment, or anything like that. But one thing I found is that she never gave herself permission to do better. She never gave herself permission to choose a better, path, a different lifestyle for herself. She felt that I don't know, that she just couldn't do it no matter what anybody said to her, no matter what examples she saw. She just could not, shake that. I haven't spoken to her in a few years, and I just kind of did my thing. Started my motherhood as a single mother as well, and I, was making decisions and doing different things to kind of change the trajectory of my life at that time. And she was there and she was witnessing all of this stuff. And whenever I would make a decision that would affirm me, that would uplift me, that would take me in a different direction, that would bring more quality and more stability and more security into my life, she would just knock it down and attack it and even call me stupid and different things like that. And I don't know, I just feel that when you're trapped in that mindset, you refuse to allow yourself the freedom to choose differently. And I think that in our social climate that we're in now, with all of this talk on the internet, the guys are perpetuating this conversation and keeping this conversation going, because women like that are easy for them. Those are the women that they can go to with their low ambition, with their lack of direction, with their lack of drive, with their lack of resources, and find a home in those women. So they want to continue to create the Pickmes and foster the Pickme culture because ultimately they benefit from it. So yeah, for women who are stuck in that type of mindset, know that every single day is an opportunity for you to do better. And if a man is supporting you and um, and I don't know, not encouraging you or uplifting you or helping you to be better and do better, know that that's someone that's benefiting from you in the lower state that you are in. These men, listen, when we talk about the single mothers and stuff, the reason why the men, the African American men, the men of our culture are perpetuating this whole single motherhood thing. This is something of their doing, okay? Well, our
Correct.
bodies naturally create children. Our bodies naturally
Correct.
birth babies. So that's what we are going to do. It is the man's job and the man's role to solidify that family and raise those children. The reason why the men are allowing their children to be born out of wedlock is because they know through their African American male culture that that woman then becomes casual or no strings attached or easy access for all of them, not just for the baby daddy, but for their whole brotherhood. Because,
Bro, that is
like they
absolute facts.
yes, like they say, no stepdaddy culture and all of that stuff. So he knows when he makes you a baby mama that you are easy access for him and all of his brothers. Okay, so just because you find yourself in a situation where, you chose to go forward in something that um, that I don't know, whatever you want to say, but you find yourself in a tough situation, know that tomorrow you can make a better decision that will take you up out of the the casual lane. All right. And any man that's wanting to keep you there, any man that's benefiting from you is a man that you gotta drop off because he just is benefiting from you. Every time a pick me sides with a man, affirms a man, or um, advances his agenda, she is doing that to slight herself. Okay, she is hindering her own advancement. And they usually don't find this out until they are in a situation where they need the support of a man and he's not going to be there to support her because they don't respect
Facts.
those women. They just simply
Facts.
don't respect those women. You will find yourself wrung out to dry after all of your support and advocacy for these men. Y'all know they sit here and say these men have the nerve in 2021 to sit here and say, don't march for me. I don't need you to march for me. After Black women been marching for them for the last 20 years and we say, okay, well, we need some support, we need some security, we need y'all to stand up for us. They say, oh, well, we never asked y'all to do that. And it's the same thing for the Pickmes. Y'all go out here and lay your lives on the line for these men. But when the time comes that you need support, you need leadership for your family, you need your male child to be raised in the right direction, these men are not going to be there for you. The only thing a quality good man understands is discipline and boundaries and structure and expectation. That's the only thing he respects. And pygmies need to understand that. I'm sorry, I'm so
That was a
Ooh,
word. That
girl,
was
she spit hot
word.
fire. Good
She said,
grief.
man, I couldn't have said it no better, but that was
I
all facts.
mean,
All facts.
honey.
All facts.
Hmm.
Because it's not just them laying they self down, for him when he's in the mud. But when those roles reverse, he not gonna be there. That's he not gonna be there. He gonna leave. He gonna up and leave you. That's usually what they do.
And you know what, Theo? These pick-me's and these mammies. Now, anybody can be made into a starter chick because, niggas just trickery. They practice a lot of trickery. They tricky like that. But a lot of mammies and pick-me's, they don't mind being the starter chick. And they don't mind sharing a man. They don't mind practicing polygamy and all this other hotep stuff that they're preaching online because to them, a piece of a man is better than no man at all. And like we were talking about earlier, it goes back to the era of, Florida Evans and, people of the like back then, like what was that song we were listening to the other night? It was a pick me song. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And but I forgot the name of it.
Yeah,
But that
it's
was
called
normal.
oh God.
It wasn't Barbara and Shirley. It was another
No,
one.
it's called No Pain No Gain.
Yeah, yeah. That is the most pick me song ever, but that was normal back then, right? So I think the pick me's that we see today, I don't think they'll be pick me's forever. I really don't. And it's only because of the generation and the time that we're in now. Like now being a pick me, I mean, you're like the scourge of the land. Like you're gonna be shamed and shunned, and nobody likes pick me's for the most part. Even a lot of men And truth be told, most men don't like pick-me's. I mean, they'll screw them, they'll keep them around, they'll
Right.
even move in with them and marry him, but
Hmm.
they're still gonna chase after the woman who makes him chase her. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh, yeah. I just want you to know that Jerome said that you don't know what you're talking about, Celeste, but you ain't heard it from me.
That's wrong. I'm older than him. He don't know nothing. He just got here. Mm-mm.
Oh God. Yeah, Zios, this has been a really good stream. Very good. Really enjoying it.
Yo, I am too. I'm just glad that, other than, that little technical difficulty, because, the verbal assassin, she trying to chop the head off.
And
If you ain't gonna disrespect me.
JL, yeah, I'm the verbal assassin, but JL got he bucked, right? He bucked.
I mean,
Nah,
hey,
man, y'all
Yeah, he
listen.
got swole
we,
up.
we,
No, but he
we
came
can't
on the
never
panel
say
swole. I
nothing
don't
Nah,
care what
verbal.
y'all
Come
say.
on
He
now.
came on the panel like, listen, verbal, you won't be called in Florida, no pick me.
Nah,
That
nah,
was
nah, nah, nah,
love.
nah.
It was good
It was.
times. Verbal.
mm, Nah, nah. Well, I listen. I love to hear, I love to hear both sides of every opinion. I was just being objective, and I totally understand how somebody could see it in that same way. But it's all good. It's all love, and that's what we're here to do. What we can't do is we can't mimic. Not that we were, but we can't mimic, all of the other nonsense and the debauchery, and we can have these conversations, and that's where we learn how to have perspective on what other people are seeing and how people are seeing it. So no, I appreciate it. I love it.
Yeah.
I did debating. I love that type of shit. So
Yeah, absolutely. I do
yeah.
too. We good.
But can I say one thing though?
go ahead.
I just again, I mean, and part of it all for me is yeah, man, the lack of self-esteem for a man to be better and do better and to have vision, and also for that woman that develops, the guy that becomes the person that looks for or can only access a woman that's a pick me, and that woman that doesn't have the self-esteem or the vision to see herself more than that pick me. It all comes back from the home, and it comes in it comes back to, the mother and the father laying down the groundwork, and setting that example for the for that boy and for that girl, and raising better black boys and better black girls, and for any black girl, making sure that the she has the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the respect for herself to know that she doesn't have to settle for anybody that's not going to treat her more than what she was treated then by her father and by her family. And for a young boy, it's the responsibility of of being more and respecting a woman and valuing that woman that expects more. But all of that comes from the home. And so if they're not getting that, that's where that intersection, that's where they constantly meet at, because they're lacking. Um and and that's something that we gotta speak to, and that's something that well, hopefully we can improve.
Facts. Super facts.
Because
Yeah.
one thing I'll tell you too, I mean, even though I haven't really have I dealt with a pick me before now? Let's see. Well, the thing about it, for any guy who is
Yeah,
really
let's
on
let's
his,
hear about it. Let's hear about it,
not, well,
sir.
well, no, because the thing for me, well, because yeah, but the thing for me is, my example wasn't that. I always go, anybody that hears me talk, I go back to my parents, and I know that's self-serving and self-righteous and whatever, whatever, but that's just what I
Oh,
have.
here he go. He about to
It is what
preach.
it is. My mom had a voice. My mother, my grandmother, my aunties, these were women that they could speak. And not only were they allowed to speak, well, it wasn't that they were allowed to speak, they spoke. And and it was respected as such. And that was what I saw in my family. And so you learn the value of, number one, looking at my father and looking at the men in my family and being like, okay, that's what I want to be, because they get things done, they accomplish things, they're having families, they're taking care of their families, and that's what makes sense. and then looking for a woman that complements that, that's going to bring the best out of you, that's going to demand that you raise your level, right? Because anytime you got a woman like that, it's not a detriment to you, it's not a threat to you, it's to
Correct.
make you better, and it's to make you
Correct.
stronger, and to push you to places that you didn't even know you could even access.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're on that vibration as a man, you're not gonna want to be with a pick me, because this lady, you know, just some old school game. You know, my grandfather, before he died, you know, he told me, he said, you know, your biggest shooter is your wifey. You'll learn that one day. You know, and my grandfather would just say things, and he would never. Those people back from that time, another thing, back people from back from that time, they would say things and they would never really expound on it sometimes, um, unless you really dug deep. And so, you're when you have a woman that's challenging you, and you have a woman that expects more from you, she's also watching out for you, she's also protecting you, she also sees all of the snakes, and she sees all of the, everything. A pick me is doesn't even that doesn't even register in her mind. So
Correct.
that's actually a threat to you, and that's actually counterproductive to both of you, because she's just there for the ride, and everything is all good, and you can do whatever, you can say whatever, and meanwhile you're not growing, she's not growing. There's all these threats that are coming to you, because that person's not in the gap and looking at you as far as, no, you need to be greater, you need to be this, you need to be that, and I'm handling my business, and we respect each other. That dynamic of 1A, 1B. You're gonna be 1A here today, or next day I'm gonna be 1A today, and you're gonna have to take the back seat. And it's not about, who's first or who's second. It's we're first. And that's the concept, and that's what the mammy and the picnic, that whole thing, they don't understand. That's above their heads. So
Correct. I always say, like, I feel like when I'm in a relationship, like being in a relationship, like your man is the pilot and you're the co-pilot, and you're. Of course, I want you to drive. I want you to drive that ship or that plane. I want you to be the one, but I'm always gonna be, I'm gonna see all the things that you can't see. I'm gonna be that piece of the puzzle when you have all the other stuff, but you can't quite figure this part out. Or I might see something that you can't see or give you a different perspective on things. And even addressing the part where you're like, well, pygmies don't do that. I don't think necessarily pygmies don't know how to do that. I just think that they do it for the wrong they do it for the wrong man, and that's the issue. I think they want the best for the partner they're with. It's just that their partner doesn't feel the same for them. When you have somebody who will um, do their all for you, um, that the problem is that you will do anything for this person, even if it's to your own detriment. That's the issue, because I feel like when they're in a partnership, it's supposed to be you and me, and we're supposed to go through the storm together, or the good times, whatever you want to call it. Because let's be honest, relationships are not perfect, and everything is not going to be peachy creamy. But when you allow someone to, or you give, and this person is not doing the same for you and will basically leave you out to dry and not, help you when you're in your time of need, because that's what I define the pick me as, is where it's like, well, you can use her resources, you can use her, whatever. She's there for you. You need a ride, she's there for you. You need to use her car, she's there for you. You need this, she's there for you. But when, life happens and, she may need a hand and a return, because again, you're supposed to be in this together, right? It's, you know, it's abuse, or it's I can't help you, or what can you do? And it's like, hey, I've been doing it all. Like, when are you going to step up and help me? Like, when are you going to, like, this benefits both of us, so what's the issue? And I feel like that's really the issue when it comes to pick me.
Okay, can I ask a quick question? What do y'all what about, okay, let me get the answer first. Can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
So I just thought of a character that's more up to date. Um And if y'all, what do y'all think? Do y'all think she was a pick me? That is baby boy. What's her name? What was her name?
God, God,
Yvette.
God, God, God. Yeah, Yvette.
Yvette. Yes. Was she a pick me?
Oh, she was the biggest pick me.
I
Well, wait a
agree.
minute. JL might have something to say about that.
Oh no, they coming for you. It's your night tonight.
Oh God. Okay.
Because, and you know,
I
I've
guess we
seen
ain't got
people
nothing.
in her situation too. But me, honestly, I think if you don't have any children yourself and you get with a man with children and you end up helping him take care of his children, to me that's kind of pygmy-ish behavior. Because you gotta look at it. It's not the same way it is with women. Like when it comes to two people having a baby together, like the woman is gonna be the one to try to hold on to the relationship longer. You know, that's just how it usually goes. But when it comes to men, and I see these younger women that get in with these men who already have these kids running around, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And for some reason, they think they're going to be treated better than the woman who carried his children for 10 months. They think they're going to be treated better than the woman he lived with and didn't marry. Like, no, you're going to get the same treatment. And that goes back to that whole, oh, I'm not like other girls. I'm not like these other women. I'm submissive. I'm respectful. I'm this and that. And it's like you could be all of that, and he's still gonna treat you the same way. But
Yeah, you know what? I completely agree with that whole you're young, beautiful, especially you have no children, especially when I see some of them get with a man that's like 10 years older and he got 5 kids and 7 baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that's extra pick me. I never even thought of it like that, but yep, I agree.
Yeah, we probably need to think about or maybe make a series called When Being a Pick Me Goes Wrong, or being,
oh,
because honestly, I think we all know situations where that has came out to be like pretty freaking horrid, or they have their I'm not gonna be a pick me or mammy moment. But yeah, I'm
You ready to watch a movie with me?
girl.
I think
okay.
if you even,
Hey,
I think if you even think that way, you already wrong. It ain't even no. I don't even need. If you even think that way, if you even aspire to be in that box, where I hear when they aspire to be that type of woman, and it's just like, sis,
Yes.
what? How are you brainwashed? What's going on?
Zio, you know what it is? It's and
Yeah.
have mercy. I hate when I see women doing this, especially women who have it going for themselves. They think that becoming the wife
honey, you
to
ready?
a baby daddy makes
Yeah,
them
I'm
better
ready
than the
to
baby
I'll,
mama.
I'll get off.
And I'm like, no, like what are you
Celeste, not to
talking about?
cut you off,
Oh my
sis.
bad, Cass.
I'm gonna say bye now, y'all. It's time for movie night with the
I
Mister.
heard him too.
Okay.
He's making
He
himself known.
Yes, he has some bass in his voice because normally we don't hear Rye. When we hear
We
Rye,
need you to get off. I need you to get off this
it's
phone,
time for you to
Casimir, right
roll.
now. Right now. Right now.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes, you're
Hey,
welcome. You're
Rye.
welcome, sir.
Thank you for
All
letting us
right.
have our sis for a
She's all
moment.
yours.
Thank you
I
for
had a
coming up,
lovely time. I hope
Cass.
everybody has a good night. I'll see y'all in the Discord.
All
We
right, have a
hope.
good
We hope you'll see us.
one.
Good night, Cass.
Bye, bye.
We
Have a good
hope
one,
we'll see
Cass.
you again.
Thank you,
Me and
sis.
you
Have
will
a
see
good
you
night
again.
with your man.
All right.
All right,
Y'all have a good
Cass.
evening.
Bye,
You
Bye.
Cass.
too.
Bye, girl.
All right, all right.
Girl, I completely forgot what I was saying. Oh no, yeah. I was saying like some women they think that is surprise and they think that it makes them look better than the baby mama because then they get to say, "Oh, he married me. He didn't marry you. He just put babies in you." I've seen women literally say those things
I
and
have
I'm like,
to.
Correct.
I have
Me
to.
"Girl,
too.
They the fifth baby mama, and he finally marries her probably because she didn't done everything to get him to do so, or he sees some benefit, some extreme benefit in it, and she feels like she won something.
hmm,
And
girl."
I don't understand that. I just don't like where we we are so competitive with each other where we think that, well, I'm not the baby mama, so I'm better, or I am the baby mama, so I'm better. And it's like, if this man has shown you that, obviously he's showing you if you have children with him and he ain't there, that it ain't that. That's not what it is. And you can even marry him and it still not be that. It's just papers, and this is some of the stuff that they say. Just like when they had this little trend that still makes my stomach turn, where you have these women getting on their knees. I'm sorry, that took me out.
Oh, that's my
That took
shit.
me
That's my
out.
shit.
I
Come on
would
now.
never be that progressed as a woman.
Oh
JL, you
yes,
better cut it
yes,
out.
Are you
You
talking
better
yes,
cut
about
it
a
out.
woman proposing
yes,
to a man?
yes,
Yes, you didn't see
Kick
that
him
little
off.
trend?
Kick him
yes.
off.
That shit is hilarious.
I'm about to disrespect you
That shit
again.
is
No.
hilarious.
All right, what are you saying, JL? What are you saying?
Because
You
he
It's
saying
said
you
that's
well,
don't
I
his
mean,
agree?
shit.
it's ridiculous, but
Oh, okay.
it's
Whew.
Oh,
Whew.
Verb.
I'm
but
so
okay,
whew.
but okay. First of all, verbal. You don't know my character, or like I feel like we have like a character
You was
I
scared of
started
me
to
misinterpretation here
think
tonight,
when
tonight.
you
bruh.
first
Bruh.
started, I ain't gonna lie. I thought you was rooting it at first. And I was like, wait,
Exactly.
what?
Because you came up
Oh
here
my
long. You came up
god,
here strong for
I
Florida. So I
really
didn't know what was
didn't. I
happening,
really,
bruh.
I really didn't, Verb. I just think you needed a bone, and I gave it to you. No pun
And
intended.
you
But
know what the killer was? You know what the killer was with that? Is it wasn't just the proposing, it was the fact
talk about
that
it.
these women were on their knees with that ring, and these men were twirling around, twerking, jumping up and down. Oh my God, it was crazy. It was the most
Okay,
feminine thing I've ever seen in my life. All they needed was a color lace wig and zesty. I don't know what
yeah,
to say.
but I is it wrong if I feel sorry for those women? And I can I tell you why? I I mean, are they really getting those values? Are they really having those conversations? Are they really engaged in those discussions? Has it been rooted in those women that this is the expectation, that this is the model, that this is the standard? Because this is a different time. This is again not. This is 2021. This is not. We're just all the way off in so many different ways in American society and just by extension the world. Like I get it, and I know we call them a dusty, this, that, and the third, but I feel sorry for them because can't I can't imagine that there was a real father that was there. In which case, there was a guy. There was I think there was something one time where there was a father, and he got mad at the at the dude that declined the ring or whatever. But it's just no, they, they couldn't have gotten that conversation. And if you don't know, a lot of times again, if you don't understand, and if you don't know, and if you don't have that vision, if you don't have that respect, and if you don't have that get right and that tutelage as far as I would never do that because I'm the woman, and that man is supposed to honor me in that way if that's what you subscribe to as far as marriage. I can't really I can't be mad at those women. It's disappointing, it's disheartening, but I can't just dust them off in that way.
Oh,
But
I'm
that's just me.
mad. Oh, I'm upset because at the end of the day, I understand where you're coming from because you grew up, with, both your parents, which is very fortunate because a lot of people, whether, woman or man, a lot of people don't have both of their parents. And some people don't have any of their parents. And I understand that a lot of basis of people's traumas and the things that they even do to other people usually stems from their childhood and how they were raised. But we have to get to a point where you grown now, and yeah, you might not have had your father there to teach you or whatever, but i'm sure you know that your pregnant fiance, well, woman, because she's proposing to him. Your pregnant woman should not be getting on her knee to propose to you. I'm sorry. I would rather go to hell on a razor blade in a pit of fire before I be pregnant and get on my knees, because I feel like as a woman, if I'm pregnant with your child, first of all, you should already be on that wavelength. That should already be a given. That that's what I don't want to take from and it goes back to this whole thing where I feel like these pygmies feel like they need to take the role of their man. He's the man. Let him make the decision. It's him. He should want to marry you. He's supposed to make that decision. You're taking his last name. You let him make the decision to want to marry you, not you, because he's not taking my name. How I'm gonna force you? How I'm gonna say, yeah, yeah, you gonna give me your name? You're out of bounds. You're out of bounds, sis. That's my opinion. I mean, anybody else want to chime in? But that's my opinion.
Damn. Now I get it.
I couldn't do it. I'm not, and I don't feel sorry. Like I do kind of feel bad because I want to go, sis. What in your right mind would make you come to that conclusion? Like what? Like what made you really sit up and go, I'm gonna go buy a ring and propose to this man? What?
You know
I
what it
wonder did
is?
I wonder did these men take their girl's last name? I wonder.
Theo.
I'm
No, but
just
I think they
saying.
do it because they make the excuse of, well, he didn't know any better. He didn't have a good example. So I'm just gonna show him by example. Like that's what a lot of women try to do with men. They like, especially when it comes to how women want to be treated in relationships, they'll do gifts and they'll pay for dates and stuff like that because they're trying to show the man how they want to be treated. And it's like you can't do that. Our brains aren't the
Facts.
same.
Facts. I agree. I understand there's a lot of things that I can say I wasn't taught. I mean, I had to learn. I mean, you're gonna fail, even if you have, both your parents and, because your parents are there to guide you and to prepare you for life. And even in doing that, you are also an individual who's going to have your own mind. And I feel like in society, we kind of see things and we kind of know how, which some people can feel some type of way, in these days and times. But, you kind of feel or know what societal kind of norms are. And I'm sure that men know that most of when it comes to proposing and weddings usually comes from, at least when it comes to asking for a hand in marriage, it usually stems from the man. So, and I
Mm-mm.
feel like if you have to,
No.
teach him or anything, like, then that ain't the right one for you. That's just what I think. I just feel like he should want to be with you. I mean, ultimately, he should initiate it.
Yeah, but mm,
Go ahead, say your piece.
those values have to be in you from the beginning. You have to have a purpose. You got to know what's going on when you get out here. You know what I mean? You got to have your purpose. You have to have your assignment. You have to have your instructions. You've got to have that embedded in you when you get out here into this world and when you start, you know, being in relationships. And for the kind of guy that would be that much of a bitch ass motherfucker. I mean, you know, he's not really looking for commitment. He's not really looking for marriage, or he doesn't even understand the idea of any of that stuff. So he's not going to do it. But hey, whatever that makes you happy, and if it's cool, or oh, she's bowing to me, or oh well, she did it, and okay, cool, and that's what it is. And societal, I, from my viewpoint, we're losing a lot of that stuff. We're losing a lot of that stuff. And so no, that the the collective idea or status quo that yes, this is how we do it and this is what's done. And nope, I don't subscribe to that. Not for everybody. Nope, not me. Not the shit that I see. I'm in here in New York. These people are crazy. Like the people are doing all types of things and doing all sorts of things. Like it's, we're not. There was a point in time where, for the most part, we were moving in lockstep with each other as far as those types of ideologies, but not no more.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I do understand that people have to, learn and, by example and by being taught certain things. But am, I also believe that people have to come to a point where it's like, um, just because you don't have those things, you can't keep making that as an excuse. And something as simple as proposing. I mean, if you want to marry someone, you know this, and due to the fact that you already stereotypically have it where society believes that women, are the ones who are very, just to put it bluntly, thirsty to be married, and men are just kind of willy nilly and just like, I don't know, when it hits them, it hits them. It's really hard to say, well, when a man hits this certain age or whatever, because I know men who have both their parents, and they want to swing it everywhere. So to say that that's just the bottom line of to knowing what to do is just like, I can't use that as an excuse. To me it was funny, it was comedy, and I don't. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna never be me. I can't. No, ma'am, no
Girl,
sir.
you love me like that, girl. You proposed to me like that, girl. Oh, you love me like that, girl.
Snap your fingers. I'm sorry. That was just not the way. And
That
like
shit
I
is crazy,
said, it for me too, it was not even just the act, it was the way they reacted too was just, I'm
man.
sorry, but
It was
that was
gay.
just, yes. I mean, so I didn't want to say it like that, but yes,
Niggas is
it
gay.
didn't even sit well to me. Like I was just like, sis, are you sure he even plays on your team?
That's
Like,
crazy as hell. Is that what Leslie was saying, that the guy started twerking?
yes, he
That is
started
absolutely unbelievable.
twerking. Yes,
That's
yes,
just
it was
that's
crazy.
that and she thought that that was okay?
She thought it was cute.
A
She
man to
thought it was cute.
twerk? A man to twerk.
Mm,
All right.
She doesn't know that
mm,
he's a homosexual?
mm. That
A,
part,
a
Oh
straight man
man.
does not twerk.
that
JL, do you
part.
think a straight man twerk?
Especially not like that. It wasn't even. You
Me
could tell.
no.
You know how some men they play around. You know how some men they play around. It was you could. It just was weird. You have to pull up the video and see it for yourself. It was weird. It was so weird.
No, I don't know any men that would play around twerking. Nope. Nope. No, I don't know.
Especially after being proposed. But yeah,
You're gonna twerk?
yeah, that's the true story. Yeah,
No one saw anything wrong with it?
I
Yeah,
guess not.
but you gotta let me get my shit off real quick. You gotta know the character of that dude. And see, and this is what I be talking about. And I know
Oh,
you gotta people know. Everybody knows. Everybody knows the character of the person that they're with. And I don't think that that's just a fucking surprise. But people make choices. People make choices, and my favorite word, you know what it is, integrity. People will compromise their integrity and they will compromise their morals and they'll go against the grain and they'll do things just because they want something. And it's just like, yeah, no, there's certain things that need to be received, and it needs to be received in a certain way for it to ever have any real stability. Because of a guy that's acting like that would even allow you to do that, that's not a
yeah.
guy that you want to stand next to
Yeah.
in a storm.
Exactly. Even if a woman wants to do that, a guy should, in my opinion, should stop her from doing it and not even let her go out like that. Lizio, can I address a comment in the chat?
Of course, sis.
205 Will says, "Oh, so now y'all don't want feminism?"
Oh
Look at
no.
JL
See,
laughing already.
this is what y'all do to
Verbal, that was a
yourselves.
layup. You
I'm
don't have
going
to
on
dunk
mute.
it. All right.
I'm just,
I'm gonna let her dunk it. I want her to dunk it. Dunk it.
oh Jesus Christ. Okay, so were you the nigga that was twerking?
Oh,
Oh, God.
It's just a question. I
I
mean, it's
want
just
to
a
know the
question.
answer too.
I'm just wondering. But
Oh,
here's the thing about feminism, baby. Feminism, okay, get real close to whatever device you're using, okay? Feminism is about rights, having basic human rights, the same rights that men would have, equal pay for equal work, having agency over ourselves, not being oppressed. It's not about role reversal, okay? When women have rights, you still can be a man. I know you didn't know that. I want you to scurry on over there back to the manosphere, and I want you to tell them, okay, that just because women have rights doesn't mean that you don't you're not able to be a man. Okay, Peaches? Okay.
That part. I don't know why are they so just oh my God. I just don't understand the masculinity and the strength and they so strong and just oh my God. But as soon as they hear feminism, it's like Mayday, 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 Mayday. It's like, what are y'all so up in arms about? Like, why are y'all so threatened about little women that can't do nothing to y'all because y'all so much smarter than? What is the
all right.
issue?
I gotta
Oh
give
So
my
him.
if we
God, they
obviously
got
don't pay attention
TMHC
to
behind their
feminists, then why are
name.
you asking us about feminism?
Gotta give a little bit of pushback. Gotta get a little bit
Oh,
of pushback.
He
let's
needs to go
go.
find feminists and go ask them about it.
That
Like,
part, because
can
ain't
I
no
say
feminists over
something?
here.
Um, Zio, I have enjoyed being on your panel. Verbal, JL, all of y'all, Celeste, Casimira, all of y'all who've been up here, I have enjoyed being with y'all. I'm gonna get ready to step down. But one thing I want to say about this feminism thing is that although I don't identify as a feminist myself, feminism is very necessary, especially when we think about JL and what he was just talking about with the lack of male accountability to even take the initiative. Hold on, baby. Okay, hold on. To even take the
Oh,
initiative to go and get a mentor if they have grown up without a
Exactly.
father. Now they grew up without a father. They know that they missed a lot of okay, baby. They know that they missed a lot of formative things and experiences without having a father. And if they go into adulthood and still have not sought out mentorship or counsel to help them to become a stable and secure male, then that's why women have to make sure that they can go out here and, like Verbal said, earn a living and equal wage. That's
correct,
why women have to go out here and be able to make sure that we can own property and vote in elections and
correct,
everything else that feminism brings. So when men talk about how feminism has destroyed the community, it really started with those men who refused to accept responsibility for their role as the headship and leader of the family. So we really got to think about why feminism was necessary in our community. All right. Now I have enjoyed being with y'all. I love y'all so much.
thank you,
Zio, girl, I'm gonna be
Goldie.
back the next time you up
Yeah.
here, okay? And I will see y'all tomorrow, okay? I'm gonna
Adore
be in the chat.
ya.
Okay.
Have a
All
good
right.
night.
All
Take
You
care of
right.
that
too.
You
little
Kiss that
one.
baby. Kiss that
Yes,
baby for
okay.
Auntie Verbal.
These babies are so tired, y'all. Bye, y'all, okay?
All
Okay,
right. Have a good
bye.
one.
have a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to. I gotta go.
Okay,
I need
I'm
to.
getting ready to shut it down, y'all. Y'all ain't gotta I'm about to shut it down. But anyone want to say their little final piece, on the topic or anything in general, just go ahead and say your final words, and I'm gonna shut this thing down.
No, I'm just gonna because I know. Let me go before JL because I don't
Ooh,
want to be here another
the
hour now. So
shade.
let me just.
You're gonna keep on taking shots. I listen. Listen, this skin can absorb everything, sweetheart. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm
Well.
acknowledging
Not
them because
enough
I know it's a shot.
melanin though.
Now. Woo! Now was that
The
disrespectful?
melanin. Baby,
Was
the
that
melanin.
disrespectful?
Wait, the melanin is below the hip, but continue.
Oh, okay. See,
Oh,
this is
war.
and this is exactly
Oh,
why it's time for
Oh,
me to make my
and I
exit.
there you go. There you go. There you go.
Um, but anyway,
Let's keep that all the way correct.
I love,
Verbal,
I
yes.
love you. I
Talk to
love
me,
you.
baby.
I
Talk to
love you,
me.
Zio.
Talk to me, verbal.
JL.
Talk to me,
It
verbal.
looks like I'm gonna
I
have to
love
whoop
you
you
Talk
some
to me,
too.
more so you
verbal.
can get
Talk to
more
me,
of a
verbal.
thick
Verbal, are you
skin.
listening to me, verbal?
I'm gonna have to
Verbal,
whoop
Oh
you. I'm gonna have to
verbal, are you
spank
listening
you
to me,
some more so
verbal? Do
you
you hear
can
my voice, verbal?
you need a little bit more tough skin, babe.
Get
Okay.
inside that bed, verbal.
But I love you. I
Verbal,
love you. You're
get
my
that whipped
brother.
cream, verbal.
Oh, see,
Verbal, are
he
you gonna get that
he must
goddamn whipped
he
cream,
man.
verbal?
Calm
Listen,
down. Let her get her last words out, sir. She trying to get off
you know what
here.
I'm saying?
I'm
This
gonna
is
go
what he's
outside
doing
and
all night.
bubble
Mute
good all
up.
night.
Mute.
Sheesh.
Mute. Thank you. Go ahead, Verb.
Exactly. Good grief. You just don't have any discipline. I see I
Verbal.
need to give you more discipline.
Yes, verbal. Talk to me, baby.
And
You see
thank
how that
you.
goes? See, I can go high, and I can bring it all the way low. You like that,
Yeah,
Lord
you should
have
have done that
mercy.
earlier though. Okay.
right? Go
Now
ahead.
that's
Go ahead.
okay. I forgive you.
I forgive you.
Okay, good. I know.
There you
Because
go.
you're in love with me. I know. So
And you
anyway,
want to get on me?
what?
I've got screenshots, but that's a
What?
conversation for another day.
You know
When I
what?
Oh God. This
when I
is
come to
not, we are
Los
not
Angeles,
exposing,
when I come to
So you
okay?
Los Angeles,
BMTing it up? You
when I come to
BMTing
Los
it up
Angeles,
here
this,
on
that,
this
and the
channel?
third. When I come to Los Angeles, this, that, and the third. Let's not dance in front of these people. If we're gonna dance, let's dance correct, okay?
Listen, you gonna make we gonna dance correct and you gonna make it up to me because listen,
That's what I do.
you
That's
gonna
what I
have to
do.
wipe your feet
That's
before
what I
you
do.
come back into TMHC
Baby,
household.
these shoes are always clean.
No, you was in some
They're
mud and came all
always
up in
clean.
the
They're
house,
always clean, baby. It's
elbowing
always
and
clean.
stuff.
That's what I do. I'm a Leo. Listen, get
Well,
familiar.
and
That's
I'm
what
a
I do.
Scorpio. You know what that is? That's fire
I've done
and
well.
no
Listen, I
wonder,
do well with Scorpios, more than
no
you know. But we'll put
wonder.
that to the side.
Ooh, you Leos. Ooh, I can't
I
stand you
do well
Scorpio
with
Leos.
season,
Scorpios,
everybody.
but we'll
Yes.
put that to the side.
It's Scorpio season. We don't care about no doggone Leos, but I can't
I do
No,
well with
don't.
Scorpios.
stand y'all Leos. Ooh, y'all got
I'm
problems.
Sagittarian. I'm
Hey,
You know,
Sagittarian, verbal.
we
Rallo.
don't have
How
to
you
go hand
doing,
in hand,
Dale?
but
Hey
we'll keep it.
Rollo, hey Charlie. Y'all,
How you
let me get
doing,
off. Let
verbal?
me jump off because I got people
There you
Let,
go.
looking at
let
me
me
all
let me
crazy
let
and
Verbal
stuff.
say her last words, please.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Okay,
sis.
so Zio,
I
my
love you,
good sis, you doing your
Bubba.
thing.
You know you so goddamn
Thank
sexy.
Oh
you.
my
I
God.
love
You
all
like
Wait,
that hot chocolate. I love all that
you
hot
see what I'm
chocolate.
I'm
talking
You know
about,
gonna
you
Zio, but you
I'm
was trying
gonna
to get
hurt
on
you,
me.
sir.
the way
This
that's
is
what
what
I
he
do it
been
in here.
doing the
That's
Be
whole
what we do it
time.
quiet.
here. I love it, babe. I love when you scream at me, baby.
Let
He
Come
got
on.
issues.
Come
He
on in
really
this
got
kitchen, baby.
issues.
go ahead,
Mm,
Verbal.
mm, mm. Thank you. Sheesh. Anyway, I see my
Lay it
good
on
sis
down,
Zio.
baby. Lay it on.
Go ahead.
You might have to put him in the back because he ain't got no self control.
Obviously.
Exactly, clearly. So, yeah, you're doing you're doing your thing, and this is my
I
good sis
appreciate
TMAC, Zio TMAC. You guys like, comment, and subscribe. Support my girl. Make sure you check your cash app, Zio.
Thank
Um,
you.
JL, I enjoyed the back and forth. You know, that's my bag. And it's your bag too. So don't be crying next time, having people feel sorry for
Just
you.
bring that hot chocolate to
Knock
me,
it
baby.
off.
That's all I need. Bring it.
Just knock it off, okay? There's no crying on YouTube. Stop it.
That
Verbal, when you
part.
heat it up, I cool. Heat it up. When you heat it up, when
No, you did. No, you
when
didn't.
you
You didn't. You poked the bear even more. But that's okay.
I
That's
want to
okay. No,
poke
I
you.
forgive
I
you.
want to poke you, baby.
Yeah. And I
When I
know,
come
I get it. You gotta talk to me on the back
when I
end
come
about
to
all of
LA,
that. Look
when
at
I
Death Racer talk about this how y'all become single mothers.
Wow.
I don't know why I keep getting muted.
Because you just keep on talking. You won't stop talking. That was the whole
That
point. I was just
part.
Well, then
saying,
She's
land
verbal.
the
trying to say
plane.
her last words so she can get off the panel.
Let
Sir,
her get off.
dang.
Verbal.
Exactly.
Then verbal. Give me something for
See,
me to
this
eat.
is
Then
what he was doing earlier.
verbal. Give me something to eat. Verbal.
I just want to elbow him right in his middle of his
Anyway,
banana nose.
General, let her finish talking. General.
Exactly.
Yes,
dang.
He's
yes, yes,
acting like the
yes,
general right now,
yes,
right?
Rollo. Yeah,
Oh my God.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. Not a doggone thing. Rollo,
Yes, I'm
Charlie,
here.
I gotta go. I'll be in the clouds listening to you. Thank you for your support always. JL, I love you, baby. You talk a lot. Land the plane within like 30 seconds, and it'll be
You
great.
want a 30-second man? That's what you want?
Oh God,
Oh,
Jesus
Let
Christ.
her finish. Let her finish.
This is horrible. It's
You want me to say that?
horrible.
She keeps
Anyway, bye, Knuckles.
All right, bye, verbal. See
bye,
you later.
Verbal. Have a
I
good
just gotta just
night. Thank you
leave,
for your
because this
support,
is this is not
sister.
gonna
I
stop.
know. I
you know you got
know.
love for me,
Thank
baby. I know.
you.
I do, we all good. We all good. But if I gotta elbow
We
you
can
again,
talk.
I will. I
Come on, I
will.
don't got to keep getting muted. That's just
Hey, JL.
abuse, abuse,
You
Hey,
see,
abuse,
see how
JL.
you keep muting him?
abuse,
It's horrible.
abuse,
It's
abuse,
terrible.
abuse.
Bye, y'all. I'll talk to y'all
Later.
Bye,
later.
Verbal.
Bye,
Have a
bye,
good
bye.
one.
Have a
Thank
good
you
one,
for
Okay.
Verbo.
coming up and supporting.
All
Hey,
right.
JL, remember the video I did with JL and Beautiful Soul a couple of days
Yes,
ago?
you amazing, man. They got to
I
go back
did
and check it
see.
out.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't get to finish the
You
whole
didn't watch the
thing.
whole thing. Okay, so
Powerful.
JL, it got some people in their feelings. I'm gonna send you the information. We got to do a live
Mm,
tonight. It's time. It's
mm.
time to go in on these ninjas.
Oh
Uh
my God.
oh. Uh
Wait,
oh.
what happened? That was a beautiful Do you know how beautiful that conversation
You
was?
remember a particular individual in the chat talking about stats and stuff like that?
No, I don't. I got to go back and check.
You remember? You know who I'm talking about. I'll show you the information. What's going on?
Okay, okay.
Just be ready. We got to go in about 10, 15 minutes. It's about to get on
All right. All
because you
right.
was there for edification.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That
I'll be
person
there.
took their whole comment off. I went back to the video and I'm in the traveling thing. So I get a call from the person that started off the thing. And I said, okay. So now I seen the video they did and it was talking mad stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's
It's
time,
crazy.
man.
Wow, that's
It's time.
insane. It
Uh,
sounded like a good conversation from to at least the little bit that I
These
heard.
guys think I was
So,
talking about them and it
whew,
wasn't even about them.
wow.
So
Mm-mm-mm. Drama in these YouTube streets. But y'all
yeah.
gonna keep put that drama on over on y'all stuff now. Now if you
I
did,
know. Yeah, it's not had nothing to do with y'all, but it was interesting. This guy was talking to the ladies in the chat that he don't want nothing to do with, but
oh,
I
right,
said,
right,
don't
right.
bring
I
that over here.
remember.
That
I
has nothing to do with the
remember.
conversation.
I remember. I remember now. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know who it is now.
Yes, yes, I. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you go back to the chat, you won't see his anything. He took off his whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, because he's a buster, and that's what busters do, and it is what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey. Yep.
But it was a very
It was a
I
serious
enjoyed
conversation.
that. Yeah, too many times it's a back and forth, and there was no. It was like, by the way, she's probably my favorite person, like or my favorite woman to talk to. Like she is just pleasant,
Yeah,
and
Beautiful Soul was
but
giving
she
out the real
drops it.
information. Yeah.
Yes, right. That's right. Yep.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
Rallo, what was so funny? Because I was, me, I was messing with her and whatever like that, and then when she got on the panel, I didn't expect her to sound like that.
Yeah.
I did
Okay,
not
okay,
expect
hold
her
on,
to
hold
sound
on,
like
hold on,
that.
hold on. Okay.
We
Y'all
can't do that
turn
over
this
here.
into
We
something
can't do that
totally
on Kazeo.
different.
We
Y'all
can't do
can
that
take that
Kazeo.
on over to Rollo.
No, no, I was saying as far as just
This
the
is
tone.
Zio time, okay?
Yeah,
This
it's
is
the
No,
old
not
time.
I
We
no
was
gotta show
whatever
love.
happened over there on Rollo. Y'all take that
no
on
as
over
far
there now.
no as far as just the serious tone. I didn't. I just for some
No, no,
reason I
no,
didn't
no, no.
expect.
I totally get where you're coming from. Like I said, I heard a little bit of it too, and I thought the conversation went beautifully. Like I don't see
Yeah,
how
this is
anybody
drama
could see
free,
a
man. We
problem
gotta
in
stop.
it.
This
But
is drama
hey,
free. This is drama free. Yeah.
you know how YouTube is. People can find drama in anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Especially even if it's drama, even if it ain't. Y'all know how this goes. So
Yeah.
well, I'm about to get ready to shut this down. So Rollo, I don't know if you want to say something. You wasn't up here,
I
but
just wanted to say good video, and you'll be getting the support from me in a couple of days. I love everybody coming on supporting too. So expect something from me in a couple of days.
oh, thank you, Rollo. I appreciate that.
All right. See you in a
All
bit, JL.
right.
All right. Peace.
Bye, Rollo.
Bye bye.
All right, JL, you up next. What's your last
Yes,
thought?
yes, that's right, that's right, that's right. Listen, I regulate
Look,
shit over
hold on,
here.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Oh,
hold on, sir. Pipe it down. Pipe it all the way
real
down.
bod,
This
real
it's
bod
hold
mod
on,
out of real bod mod out of building. Real
hold
bod mod out of building. You understand me? I
on.
regulate everything. Oh, you thought it
See,
was a
you gonna
game,
make me
bro?
do it. See, you really gonna make me do that?
Because,
Look, look, sir,
but that's some
sir.
clown
Look, this is
shit.
TMAC,
One
gang,
person can
gang.
get their shit off,
Say
and
it
the
in
other
the
person
chat,
can get their shit off.
TMAC
All right.
girls, TMAC in the building.
You
You
can't.
on
Yeah,
our, you
you
in
can
our
dish it,
wheelhouse.
but you can't. You can
You in
dish
our
it, but
wheelhouse.
you could
You in our wheelhouse, sir.
you could dish it, but
You in our wheelhouse, sir.
you could dish it, but you can't.
If you want rain, you need to put TMAC behind your name. Ain't that
Well,
right?
no, I can't.
Hey,
No, 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 no. But see,
hey.
that's the thing. I can't do that. You guys would have to give me that. I can't do that. I rock with y'all, but you would
Oh,
have
you
to
could
do
do
that.
it. It's all you
Yeah.
gotta do is where you put your name in, when you put that them
No, I'm
letters, you
talking
can put
about.
the
I'm
other
talking
letters.
about an understanding that the ladies give me that. I don't claim something that's not mine. Whoever, if y'all think that that's okay, then of course I have no problem
Look,
doing it.
so let me make this statement because he's actually saying something. TMAC, we are for women. We are a group of ladies who want to, again, we're for women. If you're a supporter of us, we do not have a problem with you having TMAC behind your name. Now, please don't abuse the name by going around, doing profanities and, doing all type of, evil and demonic things. Now, if you get into a Negro or dusty ass, do your thing, sis or sir. But just if you down for us, if you support us, regardless if you technically want to be in the group, but if you support us, we have no issue with you using TMAC behind your name. You don't have to do it to support us, but we don't have an issue with that.
Hmm.
So feel free.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
anyways, getting back to it, what are your last thoughts on this
No,
topic so
real
I can
quick. Yeah,
close this
no,
out?
real quick. No, great live. Yeah, great live, great
Thank you.
conversation. Whenever I get the juices and the molecules working in my brain on a particular topic, I get very passionate. It's never to be demeaning or any of that kind of stuff or preachy. But I like these conversations, and I think it's important that, as much as women have their spaces, I think that there's also, because of the duality of men and women, I think it's also important that we listen to each other. And I think that it was a great moment for people to see that we can disagree and but we can have respect for each other at the same time, and we can get
Correct,
a little
correct.
heated and then we can bring it back down. I didn't go on a big cursing tirade and call Verbal out of her name and do all of these different things because I don't need to do
Correct.
that.
That is a great example. Sorry to cut you off, but yes,
Hmm.
men, you do not have to curse women out, even though verbal. She you step a little on her toe.
Hmm.
She just gonna come for your throat.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
how she is. But even in that, because understand too, what people misunderstand about verbal, she's very passionate. And I understand that being a fellow Scorpio woman myself, she's very passionate about what she believes in. And I think that it can come across, she ain't sugar, she more spice than sugar. But my sis means well, you know what I mean? And y'all had y'all little spat, but y'all brought it back. We respect JL to the fullest. He has supported us, and he's always welcome up here. And I'm gonna always, try to keep it fair. Don't get me wrong, it's TMAC up in this thing. But I want everybody to feel respected on the panel and get their opinions out. Go ahead, JL.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what it is. I I oh Lord, I got to get my mouth together here. I encourage you to continue, doing your channel and developing your channel, developing, your topics and where you want to go with things. And I think it's very necessary for there to be, multiple voices, and you're just another voice, and just continue to develop that voice, continue to, mold it and cultivate it, and having this platform and doing it to the best of your ability. And you got my support, obviously. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your input on the topic. Thank you for coming through.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I hope everyone enjoyed the live tonight. I just really thought that was a topic that I wanted to cover. And again, I want to thank all my supporters, all the people in the chat, everyone who subscribed, anyone who sent me cash apps. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. It's going to help continue for me to do the content that I do. I know I'm a little channel, but don't underestimate me. I'm coming. I'm coming. Me and my crew, we coming. So just understand that TMAC up in this thing, we're not going anywhere. Let me repeat that again. We're not going anywhere. So my sisters in the chat, throw it up. People, drop your channels. I know I ain't no big, content creator, but you never know who's watching. So please put, whoever has a wrench, please put your channels down in the chat. I also, before I go, I wanted to share a poem with you guys. It doesn't really have anything to do with the topic, but I just hope you guys enjoy it. Lemonade. Fine brothers get fades. Hood chicks rocking Gucci shades. Pixie cuts, bobs, and braids. Backyard barbecues. Water hoses and plastic kiddie pools. Melanin sun kissed brown skin. Daisy dukes, gold bangles, and bamboo earrings. Running down the street for the ice cream truck. Bomb pops, grab bags, and big sticks. Super soakers getting blasted on the block. Babies hanging from the mother's hips. Smacking on sunflower seeds. The candy house got all your needs. Fellas on the corner shooting dice. 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, nigga, I'm hot. Little girls playing hot hands. Down, down, baby, and double dutch. And getting a whiff of the reefer on nearly every porch. Again, I want to thank everybody who came through tonight. Continue to look out for more content from me. TMAC up in the building. Zio, I'm out. Good night, everybody.